The H&R Block College Football Pregame is brought to you by H&R Block. Get your taxes won.
Number 8 USC, number 5 Ohio State. Minutes away here from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. It is great to have you with us. With Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway, I'm Matt Nuernberger. Sam Darnold was plagued by turnovers, but he did clean it up down the stretch. What do you expect from the USC quarterback tonight?
Yes, the 12 interceptions of Sam Darnold became the conversation during the season, but only 3 of those came in the last 7 games. He got better. He got used to playing with pressure, a beat-up offensive line, but he found a way to make plays, and he is hands down one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
Biggest question in this game to me, guys, which JT Barrett shows up for Ohio State? The one that struggled against Oklahoma and Iowa, or the one that dominated against Penn State? I think JT Barrett plays great tonight. He's healthy after that knee injury he suffered against Michigan late in the year. He's playing 2 hours away from his hometown here in the home state of Texas. He's the winningest quarterback in Ohio State history. In a game like this against USC in his final game, this is the type of game that can cement your legacy. He's going to play well.
Yeah, he's been much maligned at times. Clearly wants to go out on a winning note. Who you got, Trojans or Buckeyes, Galloway?
I mentioned the offensive line is beat up. The defensive line for Ohio State will get pressure on Darnold. It'll be too much to deal with. He'll get a couple turnovers tonight, Jesse. Ohio State wins.
JT Barrett will play well. Ohio State wins, and they snap their 7-game skid against the Trojans.
You know how I know it's a big game? Big game Bob's calling it. Bob with shoes of Brock Hewitt. Allison Williams will be coming up on the other side. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Committed to honoring blimp-worthy athletes who demonstrate hard work on and off the field. Goodyear, official sponsor of the College Football Playoff. Enjoy the Cotton Bowl. We'll see you at the half.
When you talk the greatest programs in all of college football, no list is complete without Ohio State and USC. The bluest of bloods renew an historic rivalry. Trojans, Buckeyes, the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Next. Welcome to the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Here inside AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. No 2 teams have faced one another more often in a bowl game than USC and Ohio State. So this is a rivalry renewed tonight just outside of Dallas. The Blue Bloods, the numbers tell the story. 13 combined Heismans, 72 combined, or 77 combined conference championships, 13 combined national championships. This is going to be fun. Ohio State and USC. Bob Wischusen alongside Brock Hewitt. Allison Williams will join us in just a moment. We were excited when we saw this matchup. I'm sure the teams were as well. We talked to them this week. When you're a Power 5 conference champion, naturally you want to be in the college football playoff, and I'm sure Ohio State very disappointed they were knocking on the door and didn't get in. But if you were playing in this game for either team and you looked across at the other sideline and saw that other uniform, you would feel what?
Oh, you mean like all those games we watched growing up with these teams, and we felt it when we sat in our living rooms as kids and got to watch these teams play. And I love what Clay Helton said to us yesterday. They knew they weren't making the playoff. And when they figured out where they were going and who that other team was going to be, they just wanted a big-time matchup. And you know what they got? They got a big-time matchup and a team that was itching to be in the playoff. And on the other side, Urban Meyer was quite blunt this week. He said, we're not disappointed. We're devastated. And when you're devastated, there's only one thing I know in the game of football. You go take it out on the guy across from you. And in this case, a team, yeah, they may not have played recently, a team that's dominated them, won the last 7 times way back when, but a team that everybody in college football knows.
Now, these two teams haven't met since 2009. For Clay Helton, it's been 9 years since they won the Pac-12, but they won it this year.
Yeah.
He's got this USC program back to where it ought to be.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of hype. Walking on that field before the game, oh, there's John Elway. There's another NFL president. There's another NFL GM. It is thick with people in the NFL because he's got talent, and he's got a marquee quarterback that we all can't wait to watch tonight.
Sam Darnold set for what might be his final game for Troy. And here come the Trojans. Kickoff from Dallas is coming up as now we take a look inside Nissan's Heisman House.
Welcome to the Nissan pregame rush. Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy and the College Football Playoff.
The Buckeyes take the field as we are just about set for the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Urban Meyer looking for yet another bowl victory. Now, we talked about Sam Darnold. Obviously, he may be playing his final game for USC tonight. What we know is that JT Barrett is playing his final game for Ohio State. Allison Williams is down in the field, and Allison, what a career he is looking to cap tonight.
It really is, Bob, and he has taken the field now for the 50th and final time as an Ohio State Buckeye. During his 4 years in Columbus, JT Barrett has set a combined 37 school and Big Ten records. Yet he was reluctant this week to reminisce on his accomplishments during his career and didn't really want to comment on the emotions of playing his final game here in his home state. He said, "I'm solely focused on preparing for USC, being present and enjoying every moment with my teammates." I spoke to head coach Urban Meyer, and he said his final pregame message to his quarterback will be the same as the previous 49. Do what you do. He said JT is a great quarterback and a great leader. He wins games and elevates the play of those around him. That is what he must do one final time tonight.
176 yards of total offense for JT Barrett tonight. And he passes Drew Brees for the total offense record in Big Ten history. Amazing. Just about set to toss the coin. Tonight, both teams have kids from the local children's hospital serving as honorary captains. Peyton Downs is with Ohio State. Thomas Barty is with USC, and David Smith is our referee.
Shake hands, say hello to each other. You ready? All right, gentlemen, welcome and congratulations to your being selected to participate in the 82nd Annual Cotton Bowl Classic. My name is David Smith. I'll be the referee for today's game. I have the commemorative coin that will be used today in the coin toss. Each team's logo is on one side of the coin, USC and Ohio State. Doing our coin toss today is Mrs. Gail Ewing. Mrs. Ewing's automotive group has provided cars to the Cotton Bowl for the last 50 years. Mrs. Ewing, you have the honors of doing the toss. Go ahead. Ohio State, you have won the toss. What would you like to do? Refer to the second half. You want to receive? Which way do you want to kick? That way. That way? Okay. Turn around this way, guys. Ohio State has won the toss and deferred to the second half. USC will receive. Shake hands, gentlemen.
So USC will start with the football. This has been the Nissan pregame rush. And now it's time to head down to the field. Allison standing by with tonight's AT&T Field Pass.
Thank you very much, Bob. Coach Helton, you said your team's experience in last year's Rose Bowl and the Pac-12 championship game this year has made them more comfortable on this stage. As you watched them during the day and through warm-ups, what signs have they shown you that they have the right mentality?
They're having a lot of fun out here right now. This is our last time with this brotherhood, this team, and I challenge them. Just come out, enjoy this atmosphere. What an unbelievable venue, and go play your hearts out.
When you watch them early in this game, what will be some keys that will tell you where you are winning and what battles you need to succeed in?
Yeah, probably the biggest thing is to keep the quarterback upright and protect him on the night. That's what our challenge is against a great Ohio State front.
Thank you so much.
Brock, tonight you are an NFL talent evaluator. You're looking at Sam Darnold and the challenge he faces tonight, especially against that front seven, the pass rush for the Buckeyes. What do you want to see?
Well, you have to spin it. It's not a challenge. It's the opportunity of a lifetime. And it's the opportunity to face a lot of guys that are going to be playing in the NFL for a long time in that front. Now, Bosa can't. Nick Bosa is just a true sophomore, so he'll come back to Columbus next year. But all of his buddies, and they're about 10 deep, that are going to run like crazy right at Sam Darnold tonight. he's going to feel what an NFL front feels like and what an opportunity in front of everybody to perform.
Play call, Bill will kick it deep to Velus Jones. And the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic is underway here in Arlington. Jones from the 2. Can't even make it to the 15. Field position on the side of the Buckeyes, but on the side of the Trojans, Ronald Jones.
He can flat out go. And he's the one guy that really, outside of Sam Darnold, that really put some concern into Greg Schiano and the defensive staff there for Ohio State. Because if you're just not sound and you're one gap off or one assignment wrong after a month layoff, that guy hits home runs.
As he turned it on since struggling in the lopsided loss to Notre Dame, averaging close to 163 yards per game. And he'll get the game's first touch and run for about a yard to the 15. So second down and long for Sam Darnold, who was a semifinalist for the Maxwell, Walter Camp, Davey O'Brien awards. And he might be looking at the top overall pick in the NFL draft if he decides to go pro. Jones again. To the 17. It'll be third down and long.
Well, what he's been looking at is back-to-back plays with these Ohio State linebackers right at the line of scrimmage. And T. Martin's going to come out, fairly conservative offensive coordinator, play caller for USC, and he wants to run right out of that. Was the mindset we felt like USC did. It felt like they could run right at Ohio State, but that's back-to-back snaps with linebackers right into the teeth of that run game, right at the line of scrimmage, setting up a third and long.
Five-man rush. Darnold on a slant. He's got Deontay Burnett. Pitch and catch, first down, but Burnett lost the football. It's scooped up by Damon Webb. This play's alive. Out of bounds at the 19-yard line for the Buckeyes.
Nobody throws more in-breaking routes than USC does, but that is loose with the football. If you're Deontay Burnett, that is way too loose right there. And you've not played for a month. I know both of these coaches are nervous about tackling and ball security and all those things they're always nervous about in a season opener. But in some ways, with these kind of layoffs, it feels like a season opener. Deontay Burnett way too loose, and he knows he's got to hold that tight to his body, and you see some of the speed and the pursuit of the Buckeyes defensively.
First possession for J.T. Barrett starts in the red zone with J.K. Dobbins to his left in the shotgun. Dobbins inside the 15-yard line. He picks up about 4.5.
And just compare and contrast first carries of the game. Very similar calls, inside runs. USC 1 yard. Linebackers right at the line of scrimmage. That time good push from the Buckeyes and a 4-yard gain as Dobbins falls forward.
Thrown away by J.T. Barrett. Now it'll be third down and 6.
Awfully big third down here. Sudden change for USC defensively. And Urban Meyer knows you've got to capitalize on these takeaways. Awfully big here early in the first 2 minutes of this game.
And deep backfield, 5 wide at the bottom of your screen. The widest receiver to the left is J.K. Dobbins. Barrett over the middle. He's got a man. Down to the 6-yard line goes Marcus Ball with a first down. It's first and goal Buckeyes.
That's one of the huge advantages that JT has tonight. He's not facing a front loaded with 11 guys deep, and you could see the pass protection hitch, and getting to his third, fourth option and Bob for the first down.
And they waste no time. Here's Dobbins trying to move the pile down close to the goal line. It'll be 2nd down and goal, just inside the 1.
And here they go, and do not mess around. Run right at the strength, right behind your center.
Pulled by Barrett at the goal line. He's in. That's a Buckeye touchdown.
And even a better option, because everybody knew that they were going to fake that or run that right up the middle. And this is what Barrett does best. No doubt he crosses the goal line there, and he adds to his Big Ten record. Now 146 touchdowns for the senior.
Sean Nuernberger adds the point after. So the Deontay Burnett fumble costs USC 7. JT Barrett, a 5-play red zone touchdown drive, and the Buckeyes have the early lead. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. When Mother Nature blitzes, you'll need the very best traction on and off the field. You'll need weather ready. Goodyear, more driven. Bob Wischusen, Brock Ewart, Allison Williams, the rest of our crew at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. An early turnover, Deontay Burnett fumbles. JT Barrett makes them pay. A red zone touchdown for the Buckeyes. They've got a 7-0 lead.
I think that's going to be an awful lot of the play-in tonight. JT's final game wearing this uniform, and I think he's going to run. You watch Notre Dame and their quarterback Wimbush run for over 100 yards. It's his finale. He's got nothing to save himself for. That won't be his last rushing touchdown.
Another returnable kick. Bayless Jones inside the 5. And again, field position on the side of the Buckeyes. He gets out to the 16-yard line. Let's take a look at tonight's Chick-fil-A impact players.
We've seen a couple of them already for USC. You will see them featured throughout the night. Ronald Jones is their star running back. He's their home run hitter. Deontay's got to have better ball security. I talked about that front 11 deep, but we will not see Denzel Ward tonight. He has made the decision. He will not return to school. This was news to all of us today. A business decision for Denzel that he will forego his final year, and he will forego his final opportunity tonight.
Ronald Jones scoots out across the 20-yard line and crab crawls to the 22 for 6 yards on 1st down. And there are 2 sides to every coin. You've got a lot of players that are going to find themselves in the NFL at some point tonight, you know, down the road, Brock, and the vast majority of them are playing tonight, many of them taking the opportunity to have one more chance to play with their teammates.
And Denzel choosing the other side, which we have seen now dozens, a couple dozen players in college football do.
Darnold has to throw it away. Tracy Sprinkle came through and got pressure on Sam Darnold, now facing 3rd and 4.
And it didn't change the coverage there. Denzel Ward here or not, Graciano is going to trust his guys to play man and to turn it loose with that front 4. JT Barrett got to hold the ball for 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds on his check down on 3rd down. Sam Darnold is not going to have that luxury this evening.
Although Darnold has been much more careful with the football second half of the season, Graciano, especially on 3rd down, comes with a lot of different NFL-type blitz looks. Let's see what happens here. 3-man rush. Darnold steps up, dancing in the pocket, floats one, pulled in by Burnett, and he's got a 1st down.
That's what Sam does best. I mean, you study his tape, and it doesn't have to be in rhythm. That's why the NFL loves him. He's 6'4", he's 225 pounds. Watched him out there at walkthrough. The arm isn't overwhelming. There may be some that throw it a little bit better, but as far as the creativity factor for a player of his size and its stature, it is impressive.
Play action, slings one down the sideline, climbing the ladder to try and haul it in as Tyler Vaughns, and it's a catch. The redshirt freshman, an amazing catch. What a throw from Darnold.
There's one spot to put that one, and that is trust. And they're picking on Damon Arnett there, and he's going to have to step up his game without Denzel. That's what you're going to get. You're going to get one-on-one opportunities, and you've got to take advantage of them.
Gain of 27, and USC in business after the turnover that cost them 7. Ronald Jones tripped up and brought down for a loss. Jerome Baker, who had 16 tackles against Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship game.
And maybe just one cut, a little too many there. And a wonderful play by Baker. He stays square to the line of scrimmage. And when you're dealing with a speedster, Ronald Jones, and Baker can flat out fly himself. Don't give him a shoulder. Don't give him an edge. He stayed nice and square and finished the tackle.
We went back and watched the tape of that Big Ten championship game, and Jerome Baker was everywhere. Darnold off play action. Steps up in the pocket, wrapped up and thrown down by Nick Bosa.
Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. Look, they're trying to get help. They know Bebe is not a matchup you want Bosa on, so they're trying to double team with the running back to come over. Bosa is a monster for any left tackle to deal with, and he just showed you, go ahead, put a tight end on me. I'll eat him up, and then I'll devour that running back on my way to the quarterback, too. Difference maker.
I think that's what he was saying to the USC sideline. A tight end. 3rd down and 18. The rush coming again. Darnold, long throw to the sideline, broken up. Good coverage from the true freshman Kevin Deaver on Stephen Mitchell. And that's going to bring the punt group out for the Trojans.
You mentioned it right there. That is a true freshman now thrust into the spotlight. And the USC faithful on the sidelines wanted a penalty here. He runs the comeback. He is out in front of it. You could see him. And Greg Schiano's telling him that you ran the route. Just be careful there with the contact.
Reed Bedrovich trying to pin the Buckeyes inside the 10-yard line, and it's a fair catch right at the 10 for KJ Hill.
The Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, brought to you by Goodyear, hardworking tires that deliver blimp-worthy performance. AT&T, the all-new Accord from Honda, and Taco Bell, official partner of the student section. Sometimes you gotta live Mas.
Playing my last collegiate game is going to be very emotional, in the beginning. Just like my senior night, at USC, my last time in the Coliseum, but this time, my last time putting on the uniform. It's going to be hard a little bit, but I know, I have a job to do. The job is to win.
The 5th-year senior Chris Hawkins, strong safety for USC, making his 36th career start tonight. Lost his grandmother to breast cancer the night before the Pac-12 championship game. And the next night went out career high, 14 tackles and a forced fumble in the win over Stanford. And now the long field for Ohio State with the 7-0 lead. And around to Paris Campbell. And he is out to the 16-yard line. Now that's a run to the perimeter. They like to run up the middle. Why? Well, that's because, Brock, they are running behind the best center in college football, Billy Price.
And it's hard to do on TV. I understand it. You want to watch the ball. You want to watch all the pretty guys on the perimeter. But do yourself a favor at times and watch this center. He's the best in the game. Was an All-American as a guard a year ago, and he's going to play in the NFL for a long, long time.
And that Remington Award trophy belongs to Billy Price. That's a first down run. Up the sideline from Mike Weber. Biggie Marshall made the stop.
And he's just so darn athletic. I mean, he's a powerful man that he's going to win at the point of attack. But what is so impressive about him and talking to the offensive coaches is how he can move. And just that last play, those end arounds and the movement, the screens, everything out in front of it. And that's what makes him unique, as well as just setting the tone for the entirety of practice. His attention to detail and his work ethic, second to none.
Counter handoff to Mike Weber again for a couple of yards, Allison.
And Bob, with a guy like Billy Price in the middle, it makes sense why USC wants to really attack them off the edges. The message right now to defensive ends and outside linebackers is you're going to get knocked off the ball, but you have to be ready for it. You have to find a way to get vertical and penetrate on the tackles.
You got to get upfield. You have got to use your speed if you're USC. Those linebackers and safeties have got to use their speed against the power of Ohio State.
Barrett to throw. Steps up under some pressure. Hit as he throws. And it's knocked away. Pass defense by the linebacker, John Houston. 3rd down and 9 now as USC will try and get a stop. Trojans send a blitz. Barrett in trouble and thrown down. Uchenna Nwosu right up the middle.
And this is a new look for USC. Something Clancy Pendergast talked to us about yesterday. Their best player defensively, and there's no question about it. And he's usually an edge rusher in their nickel pass situations. And that time they stack him right behind the defensive line. And he actually gets by Price and the running back. We watched Bosa on the other side devour a tight end and a tailback. We're seeing the impact player there, Nwosu, running right by Billy Price, right through the running back and bringing JT Barrett home down.
Crispin with a line drive kick. Fair catch called for inside the 40-yard line by Ajane Harris. Pretty good field position, though, for USC. As the field is flipped by the Nwosu sack. Trojan ball when we come back.
Feel the thunder, lightning and the thunder, feel the thunder, lightning and the thunder.
Bob Wischusen, Brock Ewart, Allison Williams back at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Ohio State with a 7-0 lead. Pretty good field position for USC. And by the way, we've got 5 feeds for the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on our Megacast. Watch the All-22 channel, Skycam, the Command Center, the Data Center. If you were watching on Watch ESPN, that's the JT Barrett touchdown a moment ago, as you would have seen it. So a lot of different ways you can take in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on Watch ESPN. Back to the offense. Sam Darnold, real good field position now at his own 38-yard line. Roll out, slings one to the sideline. Tyler Vaughns across the 50. A gain of 14.
Just effortless on the move. It's what's so fun to watch. It's not just in the pocket that he can throw guys open. That's what T. Martin was talking to us about last night. And you know, when they go out and practice in the spring and in the fall, and the fun that he has against Clancy Pendergast and this good defense, just creating multiple opportunities and multiple ways to move the pocket when you've got a talent like Darnold.
Sam Darnold, 19 giveaways this season, #1 during the regular season in FBS. That's not the category you want to lead college football in, but only 1 giveaway in the last 3 games to close the season through a pick against UCLA. That's it. Slant, busted up at the line, and it falls incomplete. He wanted the quick hitter, and it looked like Jalen Holmes may have deflected it at the line for Ohio State. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, you see this a lot against Ohio State. You see screen passes, you see shovel passes and draws when you got as active a group in front. When you move, you see movement, you want to get them off their target. You want to change their eyes. This is also a pretty savvy group. Holmes, a senior, he can feel that play happening in front of him and gets his hands up.
Darnold on a crossing route again to Tyler Vaughns. A gain of 5. Another 3rd down now for USC. The ball may have popped out. Officials ruled him down. And you can see the knee hit before the ball came loose. For the first time in the game to the left of Darnold at tailback in the shotgun. Darnold finds a soft spot to Deontay Burnett. The ball comes out. Burnett dropped it. They rule it incomplete. So a fumble by Burnett that cost USC Ohio State's first touchdown. And now a decision to make for Clay Helton, 4th and 5 in plus territory.
And Burnett was tapping his chest up and down that sideline after that initial fumble. And this is, again, one you've got to try to find a way to secure a tremendous play. A violent tackle there from Kendall, Sheffield, to come in and to rip that ball away. It's now a couple occasions. Rose Bowl star from a season ago. Clay Helton's having another talking to on the sidelines. Didn't get it done.
And before the punt, whistles stopping play. A timeout may have been called. Is this going to be a coach's challenge potentially from Clay Helton? Does he think that should have been a completed ball to Deontay Burnett? And we all hear about how important it is to be able to survive the ground.
Timeout. USC, the head coach has challenged the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass.
That's what Clay
The
Helton
previous
is
play
going
is
to
under further review.
do. And all a part, Brock, of completing the process of the catch is surviving the ground. We've got Bill Lamagna, our rules expert, 20-year referee in the Big Ten, and was the head referee for a couple of Cotton Bowls. And Bill, would you say that is surviving the ground for Deontay Burnett as the ball gets ripped out just as he hits the turf?
3 things are required. You got to have control of the football inbounds, and you got to survive an immediate hit going to the ground.
So he gets hit, he survives it, and then when he is on the ground, you see that ball ripped out, Bill.
I don't see enough video evidence to change this call.
Don't you love these calls of catch, no catch? They never come up in big games.
It's one of the most controversial calls in the NFL and in college football.
Well,
what's a catch? What's not a catch?
You heard the crowd all react. Okay, now play a little the other side here, Bill. He gets hit, and he secures the ball. He catches it, he secures it, he gets hit, he goes to the ground, and after he makes contact with the ground, then the defender rips the ball out.
That's the second act. So then he would be down.
So that could be, by definition, surviving the ground, and this may turn out to be a good challenge by Clay Helton. Here's the call. It's a quick review.
Yeah.
This replay was booth initiated, and USC will not be charged a timeout. The ruling on the field of an incomplete pass is confirmed. It will be 4th down.
And it was confirmed, and Bill was right. It is, and you were right as well, Bob, and that is that contact with the ground all the way through. You have got to survive it.
Replay has now gone, though, obviously, to a place where we go to super slow-mo, and maybe we're trying to convince ourselves we see something that you don't see at full speed, Bill?
That's the key thing is that you want to see it regular speed on a play like this. When you slow it down, you can make almost anything look like a catch.
Another good punt, though, from Bedrovich down inside the 10-yard line. Another fair catch for K.J. Hill. Kendrick Lamar will be performing at halftime of the national championship game. Which 2 teams will be there? We'll find out New Year's Day. The college football playoff semifinals on ESPN. Oklahoma, Georgia, kicking things off in the Rose Bowl game, presented by Northwestern Mutual at 5. And then it's another rematch of Clemson, Alabama, in the All-State Sugar Bowl and the Superdome, both games. ESPN Deportes and streaming live on the ESPN app. Barrett brought down near the line of scrimmage. And this is a heck of a matchup. What gives, Brock, the offense for Oklahoma or that defense for Georgia?
Yeah, give me a quarterback on this stage. Give me Deshaun Watson last year. It's Cam Newton's. It's the Heisman Trophy winners that have dominated this stage. The Georgia better play some keep away, too.
Dobbins wrapped up. John Houston comes through, selling out to stop the run. And now it's 3rd down and long, forced again by the USC defense.
Well, that's back-to-back snaps. What Allison was telling us after that first series, that the charge on the sidelines was you've got to get on edges. Just you cannot sit and absorb these blocks. You've got to get to the shoulders. You've got to get to the edges. Back-to-back snaps there by the USC linebackers doing just that.
And now the Buckeyes try and spread them out. 5 wide again. Empty backfield for JT Barrett. Here comes a blitz. Barrett steps up. In stride. He's got Austin Mack. First down and more out to the 43.
Can't do it better than that. And JT Barrett saying, Sam Darnold on the other side is not the only creative quarterback here tonight. Stepping up into the pocket, not flushing to the side, but right up into the pocket. Eyes up, throws a dart for the first down.
Dobbins. And a pile move for a couple of yards. Josh Fitzu was able to make the stop, and JT Barrett has been terrific against the blitz. 9 touchdowns, no interceptions against a USC team that blitzes often. Play action here to the sideline. Perfectly timed again to Austin Mack.
That is as well timed to throw as I've seen JT Barrett make. You'll hear coordinators say throw him open. This is on rhythm. This is on time. The ball is out before Mack even turns around. That's well done by JT.
Dobbins again. Houston with another stop, gain of 3.
You showed those blitz graphics, and against pressure, there's no substitute for experience. This is the 50th game for this young man who has accomplished so much, and he's going to pass Drew Brees tonight for total offense in the Big Ten. He's running away with total touchdowns, and he's added to that list tonight. And now he's healthy, and what he did, obviously, in that Big Ten championship will go down forever. Playing off of a surgery just 6 days later and being a warrior out there to get to this stage tonight.
Another blitz off the edge. Barrett runs away from it, and it's an errant throw over the head of Rashad Berry.
It's getting good heat. And when push comes to shove, Clancy Pendergast on this USC side is not going to sit on his heels and let JT Barrett get comfortable. Clancy's down on the sidelines. He's done it a long time, did in the NFL. And he knows playing against a quarterback with this much experience, and you can see them offensively, one of the best also in college football. You do not want to let him get in rhythm.
Play clock down to 5. I'm not sure they're going to get this play off. At 1, it goes to 0. Flag thrown. It's delay of game.
Delay of game on the offense. Number 16, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
That's strange between 5th-year senior quarterback and coaching staff that you don't see them typically running, right? They're all looking at the clock. To not salvage. You can see right there may be a little indicator there, and talk with a coach there who's supposed to watch that play clock and make sure a timeout is called to that line judge.
Well, also you see the chess match between Clancy Pendergast and Urban Meyer's offense as USC came up showing blitz, then the look over from JT Barrett, and it ate up the play clock.
It's 25 seconds. 2-2-5.
And they have to adjust the game clock by 9 seconds.
And that's Clancy right there, and that's an NFL background. Coordinated a lot of NFL defenses, and he said he hopes to get to a chess match tonight because he's more than willing, and he's got his guys ready after a month off to be able to checkmate, check out. There's some benefits to having a whole lot of practice time.
Design run for Barrett. Down the sideline, and that might be a play called on 3rd down with the idea that you're going for it on 4th down.
Well, I don't think there's any question about that.
He was pushed out by Houston and Hawkins inside the 35-yard line. 4th down and a full 2.5 yards, and no hesitation from Urban Meyer. The offense stays on the field for Ohio State. Barrett, he's got plenty of room. The first down and then some into the red zone.
Look at those 3 all-conference offensive linemen. Watch this play down. We were watching tape in this building yesterday. Right, and just look at the center, look at the left guard, look at them just mow people down. Your left tackle gets the kick out block. Your All-American center pulls around, and they just seal that lane for JT Barrett to do what he does best.
Tenth play of the drive is a Mike Webber carry inside the 15-yard line. Barrett under center. Second down and 7. Fakes it to KJ Hill, looking for a throwback. It's not there. Scrambling instead. And down he goes. Maybe gained 1.5 yards. Nuosu made the stop, so a big third down coming here in the red zone with 1 minute to go in the first quarter.
Huge, and no surprise, it's Nuosu. Had the sack earlier on the third down. He is their best player. He is their guy. You know, I love to ask these coaches, who's your tough guy? And when there's no hesitation and it's unanimous with an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, head coach, speaks to the magnitude and the meaning of number 42 on that defense.
12th play of the drive. Barrett again designed quarterback run. Stood up short, and another decision now for Urban Meyer. You going for it on 4th down and 2 inside the 10-yard line, or are you taking 3?
Yeah, well, you're going to take the time here to think about it.
They didn't wait long. Here comes the field goal.
You got to get the points. You got to pay off this drive, more than likely. Let this quarter run out.
No rush for Ohio State. Nuernberger lining up, but they can let the clock wind all the way down to the end of the first quarter. And the clock goes to zeros, and that will end the quarter with Ohio State up 7-0, looking to make it 10-0 when we start the second. Deontay Burnett, this fumble on the opening drive set up a red zone opportunity for JT Barrett. He scored the game's first points. 7-0 Buckeyes. Taco Bell has brought the best of the regular season to the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic by creating the Live Ma student section. Tonight they're picking up the tab for student tickets from each school, giving the biggest games back to the biggest fans. That's the way it ought to be, as we have a terrific way to begin these New Year's 6 bowl games on ESPN. The Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic starting the second quarter. Sean Nuernberger from 26. And he is now 16 of 17 from inside of 40 yards this season. And the Buckeyes open up a 10-0 lead.
That's 22 first quarter plays. I don't know about you, Bob, but I look more and more at those number of plays. With these tempo, no huddle teams, and the number you seem to hear more often than not is 85. If you can get to 85 plays over the course of a game, you really have a chance to do what TCU did at Stanford last night, and that is wear them down and run them down. And that's 22 first quarter plays for the Buckeyes, and that's concerning for these guys because they've not been able to sustain drives for USC.
We talked to T. Martin, offensive coordinator for the Trojans, obviously, and he said we're playing with tempo, which sounds great. You wanted defense on their heels, but the question then becomes, if you play with tempo and you don't sustain drives and you don't make first downs, what's the long-term effect in the game on your defense? And if your defense is out there as much as the Trojans already have been, do you change up your tempo and change up your plan?
Yeah, I think you have to, and he said he's willing to do so. And you know, if you're Clay Helton, you're Sam Darnold, what's disappointing to you is they're self-inflicted in some ways. Now Kendall Sheffield has forced both fumbles, beautiful, violent, clean hits. Deontay Burnett with a fumble, and then the inability to sustain on that third down catch. It's been the real drive killer.
The return for Bayless Jones has yet to make it to the 20-yard line, bringing a kickback against the Buckeyes. He won't make it again. Saturday on ESPN at 4 Eastern. It's the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. Number 11 Washington taking on Saquon Barkley and number 9 Penn State. And then at 8 p.m. Wisconsin battles 10th-ranked Miami in the Capital One Orange Bowl. See if the turnover chain makes an appearance. Both games available on ESPN Deportes and the ESPN app.
I'm sure glad he's playing tomorrow because he's one of the. He's got a fun factor, unlike very many in college football. He's just a joy to watch, and awfully glad that he's going to suit him up and play tomorrow.
And almost certainly his last game. In the Nittany Lion uniform, there's an interception. Damon Webb, pick 6 of Sam Darnold.
Pre-snap and post-snap. You've got to get your pre-snap read, and the pre-snap said one thing to Sam Darnold. This is a nifty defense, and Damon Webb is a veteran, savvy safety, leads his team in picks, and look at him post-snap. Sometimes when you fake like that, it just takes your eyes off momentarily. Right, and that's why you have got to see on those throws, you've got to see that pre-snap, and then you got to confirm it after that fake, and he didn't. And Damon Webb made him pay.
Two USC turnovers cost the Trojans 14 of the 17 points for the Buckeyes. Sam Darnold, his 13th interception of the season, taken to the house by Damon Webb.
13th interception of the season for Sam Darnold, 20th overall turnover, and I told you pre-snap, post-snap, and it's right here. It's Damon Webb. It's also the wide receiver here. Deontay Burnett is going to run this slant route, and he's got to fight. Ultimately, the quarterback signs the check. It's on you. It's on your interception column. But if you're Deontay Burnett, you have got to do what you can to fight across the face of that safety. It's going to be your ball or nobody's ball. That falls on Sam Darnold. That's a critical error. That is his mistake. And really, there's not any excuse for it. But if you're Deontay Burnett, you could have sure helped your team in fighting into a collision.
Ronald Jones, another return. Breaks a tackle with speed to the sideline. That's an excellent return out close to the 30-yard line after Ohio State scored 10 points in 13 seconds. Allstate is proud to be a part of the team that comes together to do good by contributing to participating universities' generous scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kicked. To date, Allstate has contributed millions in scholarship funds.
Got to take a breath here. If you're USC and you're in that huddle and you just sat on that takeaway and the pick 6, you have got to just take a breath and continue to stick to your plan. It is way too early to become one-dimensional, and if you do, you play right into the teeth and the strength of that Buckeye front.
Broken tackle for Ronald Jones. Close to the 45-yard line before he's brought down.
And you see the fear factor there for Shiano and staff. That's one broken tackle, and it's a double-digit yard gain. That's the difference this season. His yards after contact, he was 50th in America, Ronald Jones, a year ago. He's up that to being the 12th best in college football. He has some serious speed.
He'll take it again. Blasts up the middle.
Guys, the USC offensive coordinator T. Martin really challenged Rojo in the offseason to step up his game and to be ready to go as a full-time starter for USC, telling him, look, you're going to face some fresh linebackers right from the get-go. And he really stepped up to that challenge. He gained 15 pounds. He's a lot stronger. And T said he's always had that speed, but it is just a different level now. And he said he is actually the most unique running back he's ever been around as a player or coach.
And a joy to talk to. Just as grounded a kid as Sam Darnold is. This time he loses yardage, though, back close to the original line of scrimmage. 4-yard gain on first down, 4-yard loss on second down. So now it's 3rd down and 10. Robert Landers made the stop for the Buckeyes. Sam Darnold looking at a blitz, floats one to no man's land. Michael Pittman broke his route off, and Darnold thought he was heading down the sideline. miscommunication, and a punt coming for USC, down 17-0.
And that's one of those routes that's based on the safety or the look. You're either going to run the fade route, and that's going to convert. That comeback is going to convert to a go route. That's what Sam Darnold was anticipating, and Pittman on the other side said, no, I'm going to stick to that comeback, try to get that first down at the sticks. And that's what USC could not afford, down 17 in this situation. Once again, the inability to sustain a drive.
Bedrovich, wobbly kick to the sideline. And it goes out of bounds, doesn't even reach the 20-yard line. Out at the 26 for the Buckeyes.
The Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, brought to you by Goodyear. Hardworking tires that deliver blimp-worthy performance. IBM, you powered by data, knowledge, insight. That's you to the power of IBM. Allstate, official protector of college football fans. Gatorade Thirst Quencher, the proven sports fuel. And Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
13 combined Heismans between USC and Ohio State. Some of the greatest running backs of all time have won them. And there's Marcus Allen winning the Heisman back in 1981. On hand to watch USC struggle mightily against the Buckeyes here in the first half.
Yeah, he's on the phone saying that's 5 drives, one of them longer than 2 minutes. That is not going to work in this matchup. He's actually probably not saying that.
Toss to the edge. J.K. Dobbins tripped up, maintains his balance. Terrific behind the line broken tackle as Nwosu couldn't bring him down. And Dobbins ends up getting out to the 32-yard line, picks up close to 7. Barrett to ball. Short of the first down. 3rd down and about a yard from the 35.
Now you have got to get off the field if you're USC. Okay, you have got to get your offense back, and you've got to find a way here on 3rd and 1 to get up into those gaps and stop the bleeding. And just where a defense can benefit an offense, so often that offense, like we're seeing tonight, can hurt a D. The Trojans have to step up in this down and distance.
Dobbins driven back. John Houston, another tackle, and that is the 3rd down stop that USC desperately needed. And it looks like a 3 and out, undoubtedly up 17. Urban Meyer's going to send the punt group out.
Well, it was Houston and it was Cameron Smith that were the beneficiaries of a whole lot of penetration from Nwosu. I mean, the number of times we have called Uchenna's name tonight has been the sacker, he's been the playmaker. Came up huge against JT Barrett in that moment. It was his initial penetration. He crossed the face of the tight end, Marcus Baugh. He got into the backfield, and that is why the Buckeyes are punting. He's a good one.
Now a timeout called with the play clock winding down. A flag thrown maybe for delay of game, but it looks like Urban Meyer may have been granted the timeout before the flag was thrown. Let's see.
Ohio State.
So Urban Meyer this time did see the play clock winding down and made sure that he was heard. Bob Wischusen here with Brock Ewart. Allison Williams down in the field here at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. All right, take me onto that USC sideline and take me into the mind of Sam Darnold. I mean, how do you get the train back on the tracks?
Well, he played a very clean first quarter. I mean, he played as good as he could. And unfortunately, Burnett, who was his star in the Rose Bowl last year, 3 touchdowns, the game winner, came up short a couple times. And as I was saying before that drive, just take a breath. You know, make sure you get back to your basics. What you cannot do is start to force the issue, not against elite teams and not against elite front fours as Ohio State has.
Burnett fumbles to start the game. Doesn't cut in front of the safety on the slant. For a wide receiver, alone. Are you the quarterback? You're taking your best wide receiver to the side and trying to get him back on the tracks as well?
I think absolutely. And those two have such a comfort level. And Sam Darnold has such a respect. I mean, if there's one thing I think we walk away from in our 3 days down here in Dallas around this team, it is the incredible respect that Sam Darnold has amongst his team, his coaches, I think this entire fan base.
92. Number 4 is wearing number 92.
I can't tell you how much the play-by-play guy appreciates that.
And
to get a number change midway through the game, thank you.
That's an awfully big jersey on Chris Hawkins, the safety, who goes from 4 to 92 for special teams purposes.
Terrific punt by Drew Crispin all the way down inside the 15-yard line. Jane Harris calls for a fair catch at the 12 after a 54-yard punt. Well, New Year's Day at 12:30 Eastern on ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Can UCF stay undefeated? Well, they'll have to take out Auburn to do it at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Scott Frost will coach his final game for the Knights as well. Brock Ewart, Allison Williams will be there with Dave Fleming to call that one on Monday.
On speed on that field, and UCF, they run their mouth a little bit, saying the SEC has not seen speed like Central Florida. I would say be careful what you wish for, because Auburn's got a whole lot of it defensively.
Ronald Jones across the 15, goes to the 17-yard line, racked up by Jordan Fuller, but he picked up 4.
Now this is a little bit of a conundrum you find yourself in, because you're right, you don't want to play as fast. Your defense, it's gassed, that's been on the field most of this first half. You want to protect them, but you also have been practicing for a month to get into your tempo and to get into your rhythm by playing fast. It's a difficult spot you find yourself in with a 0 on the scoreboard.
Design rollout for Darnold behind Burnett. So now it's 3rd down and a long 5, close to 6.
And these two are just not right. I mean, that's pitch and catch. And Burnett started to turn upfield, didn't think Sam was going to throw it to him in a flat. And you could see Sam there shaking his head. That's about as much negative body language as you're ever going to get out of Darnold. And I promise you that is, hey, come on, receiver, just keep running to the flat. It's not try to get cute against this defense. You have got to be on every last detail.
Darnold has 1 for his last 6, including a pick 6. Another design rollout. And that time Burnett reaches the ball out. Did he get it to the first down line to gain? Very close. Well, if he's got it, it's by the nose of the football. Damon Arnett made the stop. And the chains are literally a yard away from the football, and they still may have to measure to see if he got it.
Now that was tremendous awareness of Deontay on 3rd down and helping his quarterback out and knowing if I'm going to throw short of the sticks, I've got to have an awareness of where to get the ball.
It might be less than what David Smith just said it was. He signaled over to the USC sideline that he is short by an inch. He might be short by less than an inch, and that's only if it's a good spot. I think replay has already buzzed down. They want to take another look at the spot of the football.
On the field was the runner was down short of the first down.
And remember, that left hand of Deontay Burnett is not down. Right, this is a tremendous job of body control. That is going to be a first down. But I can't tell you how fast that happens. Having lived the life one time of a headlinesman for a spring game and trying to spot a ball.
Yeah, I watched the tape, and you were awful.
Yeah, real bad.
Just terrible.
There's simply no debate about that. Because things move real fast, and especially for Burnett. And maybe that gets him going right there. Maybe that is the one play that he needed to get his mind right. To just say, okay, fumble, ball security, I get it, as he was patting his chest. You know, the 3rd down collision, Kendall Sheffield made a wonderful play to tear it out. You know, the slant route that you would love to have seen him be violent and get through the safety and make some contact at that time. Maybe just one play, like they say about shooters. You just see the ball go through the net one time, and you just get some comfort and some confidence that you can get it done, because that was a tremendous effort. And USC desperately needs this call.
Looks like they're going to get it.
After further review, the back of the ball will be placed on the 22-yard line, which results in a first down for USC.
Just what the Trojans needed. A third down conversion to keep this possession alive, down by 17.
And they're going to have to earn it. I mean, when you're playing Ohio State, they're not, with their overall team speed and their group up front, you can see that. That's exactly the right call. The back of the ball touches the 22. You have got to do it right against a defense of this quality with strength really at every level. If there's one vulnerability, it's the second level of this Ohio State defense. It's those linebackers who've been vulnerable at times in play action pass. The only way to get to them is to continue to be patient, be on point with your details.
Play action for Darnold. Up the seam. Complete out to the 40-yard line and then some. Michael Pittman gets it to the 42. Gain of 20.
And that's exactly the point of emphasis right there with the play action. And those linebackers whose eyes can sometimes just get in the backfield and get a little bit lost in their coverage. And throwing right behind the ear of Jerome Baker. Throwing your receiver open. Well done by Darnold.
And off to Malapaya. A yard, maybe a yard and a half. Tough Borland took over at Mike linebacker for Ohio State. Has started the last 5 games in a row, made the stop.
There's going to be some hard yards today for Ronald Jones. He may spring one. He may get a gap. And they may bust an assignment, but more than likely these ends are playing so well out on the edge. That's what Bosa and Hubbard, Lewis, these guys are so well trained to set that edge. Let that speed inside pursue.
4-man rush. Arnold out of the pocket. There he goes. He'll scramble across midfield to the Buckeye 42-yard line for a first down. 14 yards on the run by Sam Darnold.
This is one of the things that I do like about Sam and what you have to have at the next level. You've called the games for 15 years at the NFL level, Bob, and you know this. You have to flush negative plays. You throw a pick six, you're down 17-0. You cannot flinch or panic. And Sam hasn't done it this season. And I don't expect him to tonight.
Darnold looking downfield. Over the middle, he's got Deontay Burnett. That's another first down. Down to the 28-yard line of Ohio State, a gain of 14 more. It just feels like a drive for the Trojans that must end in points. Stephen Carr, true freshman, maybe picked up a half yard.
When I talk about setting an edge, it's not just getting to the quarterback. You'll hear this all the time. It's a Bill Belichick, right? You want to set that edge so strong. Look at that. There is nowhere. Hubbard is setting this edge. You're not going to run outside here. It doesn't matter who you are. And when you can set those edges, and then you've got guys inside that can defeat blocks like Draymond Jones can, like we saw earlier from Landers, it just squeezes any run lane.
Darnold, another crossing route. Deontay Burnett tripped up after a gain of 5, brought down by Jordan Fuller. So here's a big play for USC. 10th play of the drive. Under 7 minutes to go before halftime. And it's third down on a long 5.
And if you notice, this entire possession has attacked one area, the middle of the field. A lot of it has been at the second level. You're throwing underneath as well. You've gone away from the perimeter stuff outside. You're attacking those linebackers. You're attacking the real estate in the middle of the field.
Play clock at 12. Looked like some confusion as who USC wanted on the field. Now Darnold wants his team to hurry up. Play clock down to 5. They get the snap off. Darnold in the pocket, bottled up, sacked. Ball's out. Are they going to rule that a fumble? Out of the pile comes Jerome Baker. Is it another USC giveaway? got the ball spotted at the 41-yard line after the return by Jerome Baker. So it looks like the ruling on the field is going to be a fumble and another recovery by the Buckeyes.
They call it the 4 rushmen. They put their 4 defensive ends out on the field. I don't think there's any debate about that. You see the ball out early. And it's now turnover number 21 for Sam. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
The play is under further review. The ruling on the field was a fumble recovered by Ohio State.
It was Tyquan Lewis, number 59, who comes in. He's an end, but when they get to that package, and think of the New York Giants back in the day with their NASCAR package. They were one of the first to defeat the 19-0 Patriots, and they did it by putting so much speed in their nickel pass rush. That's exactly what Ohio State and Greg Schiano have done. You get matchups like Lewis on a true freshman right guard, 59. And there's no doubt.
And if there's a knock on Sam Darnold,
that's it.
Ball security, valuing the football, the number of giveaways that he's had this season. And in that scrum of players, to have the ball out there in one hand and loose like that, you're asking for trouble.
Yep.
And it got knocked away. It should be a pretty quick confirmation, you would think, of the call on the field of the Baker fumble recovery.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down, Ohio State.
A disastrous first half for USC continues. Another takeaway by the Buckeye defense. Committed to honoring blimp-worthy athletes who demonstrate hard work on and off the field. Goodyear, official sponsor of the college football playoff. Bob Wischusen alongside Brock Ewert. Allison Williams down on the field inside AT&T Stadium. As Sam Darnold has given it away twice tonight. And all season long, turnovers have plagued the potential #1 pick in the NFL draft. That's JT Barrett back to work with great field position after the 3rd takeaway by the Buckeye defense. The first 2 takeaways resulting both in touchdowns. Barrett off play action. Stays in the pocket. Long throw. Mike Webber. First down. And a flag throw. It looks like 15 more might be tacked on, as that might be a face mask call.
Is there a little difference in the pocket between these 2 quarterbacks?
Personal foul, face mask, number 24 on the defense. 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. First down.
That's Isaiah Langley starting in place of the injured Jack Jones. Pretty clear.
And those offensive guys, I know every defensive guy right now is sitting home screaming, going, that's just not fair. All right, every rule is made to protect the offensive guys. He put his hand in my face. When you're a defender and you grab and you yank, you're going to get the 15 against you. And the offensive player did not grab the face mask and yank like the defender did.
That's the first USC penalty. It's a costly one. So 1 snap and inside the 30-yard line for the Buckeyes. Play clock down to 1. Another timeout call from the sideline by Urban Meyer. And he is frustrated with JT Barrett, it looks like.
They're second.
As there's just not recognition of the fact that that play
This will
clock
be a
is running.
30-second timeout.
Well, that's the back and forth. You're trying to get to your call. That's what Urban is saying. Hey, don't worry about the perfect call. Run with some of your tempo. And JT, they do some check with me, and you see the offensive line coach right there as well. And they're working together. And they got calls in their run game to a 1 technique or a 3. And if they move and switch, it also comes important. I'm sure this is where some of the savvy of Urban Meyer is going to say, hey, might have been running. Right? Even if it's not perfect and it's not the perfect picture, okay, we've got these guys on their heels. Let's dictate with our tempo.
And here is how we have gotten to 17-0. And that's 3 giveaways, 2 of them resulting already in touchdowns. Deontay Burnett, opening drive of the game, coughed it up. And then Sam Darnold with a room service pick 6 to Damon Webb.
And then the last one, just a little loose in the pocket for Sam Darnold, just feeling the onslaught of that rush. There's no better predictor in football than turnovers.
Design run and a broken tackle for J.T. Barrett. There he goes. Barrett to the house. Ohio State, another touchdown.
Really nice job by JT. You'll hear quarterbacks, in fact, I said it earlier, when he scrambled through that third down dart, stepping up in the pocket. That time, the little zone read action, the read action with the jet sweep, and he steps up away from the blitzing to Janae Harris, and by stepping up and out, he does what he does best. His second rushing touchdown of the night.
3 USC turnovers turned into 3 Ohio State touchdowns. And yet another score for J.T. Barrett, putting together the most prolific offensive career in Big Ten history. Welcome back to the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Bob Wischusen alongside Brock Ewart, Allison Williams down on the field. And it has been giveaways by USC and no mistakes by the Buckeyes. If we were wondering about Ohio State's motivation not making the college football playoff, to come to Arlington and perform, they are answering all of those questions.
You've seen it in this face. I mean, the way these guys have been screaming on kickoff coverage all night.
Bayless Jones blown up inside the 15-yard line. Back to Muir. Makes the stop on special teams. J.T. Barrett continues to pile up the numbers. Now up to 147 touchdowns responsible for, continuing to add to a Big Ten record. Toss all of these numbers into maybe the most important one. 37-6 Brock as a starter, and 4 of those wins coming in the 4 starts against Michigan.
Oh, that happened?
Someone has mentioned that in their publicity material. If I'm JT, that's probably the first line in my bio. That might be the first bullet point. Ronald Jones. There is the edge again built by the defensive front for Ohio State. 3-yard loss on first down. Another 48 yards of total offense for J.T. Barrett, and he would pass Drew Brees and own yet another record, the total offense record in the Big Ten. Darnold overthrown, looking for Tyler Petit. 3rd down and 13 coming up.
Bob, after that pick 6, Coach Helton came over, had a direct one-on-one brief conversation with Sam Darnold, seemed to kind of offer him some reassurance. And then he went over to the offensive line and he told his guys, look, we have put ourselves in a hole, but we will dig our way out. But you guys have to win your one-on-one battles. If you give him time, talking about Darnold, it's cover 1 all day.
He has to have that time here on 3rd down and 13.
Press coverage, one-on-one.
Long throw over the shoulder, and it's pulled in by Michael Pittman. What a catch. And will that breathe a little life into the Trojans?
And there's that cover 1 that Allison was just talking about. You're going to get man-to-man. I mean, these guys are confident in what they do. That's Damon Arnett. And you really can't catch any better than that. Michael Pittman, that name might be familiar. His dad was an excellent running back. Somewhere he's saying, yeah, that's how you do it, son. That is how you beat press coverage.
Darnold, another deep ball. Incomplete, almost intercepted. That is a long way to run for a Mike linebacker and Chris Worley, but he did a great job in coverage underneath.
And that's one you can't throw. So it's one thing on the previous snap, right, when you've got safety in the middle of the field and you're throwing away from it. That time you're throwing into the teeth of coverage. That's a desperation throw, and you can't do that even though the scoreboard may indicate it.
Is there any way for USC to get back in this game other than just giving it to Sam Darnold and letting him sling it around?
Well, the danger is you've got to block these guys.
Another blitz. Swing pass, Stephen Carr. No one out there to block for him. Somehow maintains His balance takes a pop and gets back, it looks like, to about the line of scrimmage. Chris Worley, Jerome Baker, Kendall Sheffield, all out to hold the edge. And that's going to be a loss of a yard. It will be a loss of a yard. 3rd down and 11 again.
And you can see it. I mean, when they get into this coverage here and those face masks are staring at face masks, it's man to man.
And here comes the blitz again. Ohio State not even disguising that they're coming after Sam Darnold. Sam Hubbard and Jerome Baker combine on the sack.
Now here's some of the beauty of what Ohio State's doing. We've seen these linebackers up in the gap, and many times they're blitzing out. You do that to try to get these linemen to block down. And watch what happens. They block down, and who's blocking Mr. Hubbard? And that's as easy as it gets right here. You have to block down in that. That means the ball's got to come out. All right, it's just been a total breakdown. 32 rushing yards, one-dimensional. This is everything USC could not have done in every phase.
KJ Hill fumbles the punt. It's loose on the deck. And it's scooped up by the Trojans. Just the break that USC needed as KJ Hill fumbles it. And the offense for USC will be right back out on the field, and Hill is hurt. Arvell Tell came up with the fumble recovery. So it's 1st and 10 USC at the 15-yard line.
They're all trying to scoop and score. You can't advance that. Just go ahead and fall on it there if you're USC, and that is the break that they needed. I mean, so desperately needed in that situation. It started with an excellent punt. KJ is a really good returner. He is very sure-handed. He's a leading receiver on this team, but that punt and trying to catch it back over his shoulder as he's retreating sets the Trojans up here with some ideal field position. They've got to pay off as Ohio State will begin the second half with the ball.
And as KJ Hill was going back after the football, he took some kind of hit. That collision from the freshman Bubba Bolden. That's what shook up KJ Hill. So now an absolute must for USC before halftime, with Ohio State starting the 3rd quarter with the football. And they've got a 24-point lead. This giveaway has to result in 7 for the Trojans.
And I got to get a little creative here. I've got to move. The run game has been so difficult. Those edges have been sealed. The inside guys are losing. We need a little creativity here if you're USC down in the red zone.
That's the speedy freshman Stephen Carr in a tailback to the right of Darnold. Wide open at the 10-yard line. Imatorbhebhe inside the 5. And Yuli Imatorbhebhe looks like he was knocked out at about the 1-yard line, so it'll be 1st and goal. And they want to go fast.
They sure do. And just a man beater there, a shallow cross. Ohio State could not get in front of the big tight end.
Carr tries the right side. They think he's in. He is down at the 1-foot line. It'll be 2nd down and goal. Robert Landers tripped him up.
And he is definitely short, and those side judges so good. Some of the best officials on this SEC crew looking right down the line, nailed that spot once again.
Now they've got Ronald Jones back in a tailback with Darnold in the backfield.
Buckeyes have struggled in this down and distance.
Clay Helton ran down the sideline to call a timeout.
USC, they're first. This will be a 30-second timeout.
The extra yard for teachers is the College Football Playoff Foundation's primary initiative. Its mission is to elevate the teaching profession by inspiring and empowering teachers. Throughout the season, teams, players, and coaches in every conference saluted teachers in their local communities by hosting, honoring, and celebrating teachers in their stadiums, recognizing their achievements. Keep track of the CFP Foundation's teacher celebrations during bowl season by going to cfp-foundation.org. We are proud to say thank you to teachers all across the country.
Clay Helton will tell you one of the great teachers he had was his dad, Kim Helton, who's in the building, former O-line coach. And Clay knew right away, and that's why he spent the majority of that time talking to his offensive line. He has a background in that. His dad taught him from a very early age that you're going to win this game at the line of scrimmage, or you're going to lose it, which has been unfortunately the way the first 24 points have gone. But that conversation was with that line to make sure you do not allow the penetration at the point of attack.
Walking into the end zone with speed is Ronald Jones. And USC gets on the board as they turn the muff punt from KJ Hill into a touchdown.
I see a little bit of that burst, don't you? There's only really one game this year, that Notre Dame game, that guy did not score a touchdown. His 19th on the season. He has been so dynamic, and as T. Martin said, that burst is unique. And he actually has space to do it in. You get a little feel for it.
Chase McGrath tacks on the point, and it's now 24-7.
We talked about the edges a lot tonight with these defensive ends, right? The way they've been able to control it a little different when you've got a safety. So you've got a tight end now trying to seal that edge, and Tyler Petit right there. Is there a little tug on the jersey? Maybe there was. But if you're Tyler Petit, you're thankful to block Jordan Fuller and not Mr. Hubbard or not Mr. Bosa or not Mr. Lewis or the rest of those behemoths on that front. It's a good play call. Try to get to an advantageous one-on-one blocking situation and get your best player out in space.
19th rushing touchdown for Ronald Jones. And did USC ever need that? That's the only mishap in the first half for Ohio State. They had been flawless to that point. And what does that do now for Sam Darnold? How much life does that breathe back in to the Trojans offense? As you said, they have the short field there.
Well, you're not going to
It's like making a free throw maybe for a scorer, but they get in the end zone nonetheless.
You said to me earlier, is this now all on Sam Darnold? It can never be. I mean, you know that when you're playing elite defenses, you just can't be that one-dimensional. One guy is not going to beat the entirety of it. You need help. You need field position and takeaways. You need a little bit of a run game and some help around you, and that's exactly what USC got in that moment.
4 combined turnovers for these two teams in the first half, and that has led to all 4 touchdowns. McGrath with a short kick. This one goes out of bounds. So now with just under 2 minutes to go in the first half, it'll be great field position for Ohio State.
Free kick out of bounds, number 40 on the kicking team. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
The way that Chase McGrath kicked that ball, it almost seemed as if he was intentionally trying to kick it into no man's land, maybe to run down and have his coverage team get after a loose ball, but it went out of bounds on a fly. So now JT Barrett still with a timeout and 1:59 on the clock. Jet sweep. Paris Campbell, blockers out in front to midfield.
Man, is he fast. 4 or 5 Buckeyes you can say that about. Right? Dixon's on the perimeter there. Paris Campbell on that jet sweep. So many different weapons with this offense.
Barrett all day to throw. Taking a shot for Johnny Dixon. And it floats out of bounds.
I like this from Urban. You get the ball to begin the second half. You're up 24-7. I think you could easily say, you know what, let's just run out this clock a little bit. And I like this mindset right here. Go for it. Step on him. You know, he can feel this. He can feel how much he's physically dominated this game on the sidelines tonight. Do not give that team on the other side any life going into halftime.
Design run for Barrett right up the middle. 3 yards shy of a first down. Brings up a big 3rd down and 3. Chris Hawkins made the tackle.
And it's nice to be aggressive when it's 5 yards pop on the ground, when there's 3, 4, 5 seconds in the pocket. Go ahead and read and work through your progressions. A lot easier when you're dominating the way they are.
Here comes a blitz. In trouble out near midfield, and going down is Barrett. And now you wonder if Clay Helton might call a timeout.
Well,
He's got 2 left.
Yeah.
And yes, USC will spend a timeout to try and get their offense the ball back with a little bit of time on the clock. So now, with Ohio State starting the 3rd quarter with the ball, is there enough time, depending on field position here, for USC to be aggressive?
Well, that's a big if. In that special teams, other than that punt fumble there on the return, has been dominated by Ohio State tonight. So you have got to start it here and set it all up with this return. And John Baxter's one of the good ones. You know, it was a fun conversation yesterday. You were asking about that punt return against UCLA and how all that was set up. There's a little window into how much work goes into that phase of the game. But it will start with that aspect. And then Sam Darnold has got to be just protected enough. Right, he doesn't need the time that JT Barrett has on the other side, but he's got to have enough space to operate in the pocket.
You were expecting a lot of screen game from the USC offense because you saw that physical advantage on the line of scrimmage. Surprised we haven't seen more of that from USC in the first half.
I am, but we didn't hear T. Martin say that was the phase they were going to go to. They wanted to try to run it right at USC in near block.
Harris lets it bounce inside the 5, and it's down. So now with 59 seconds and 1 timeout, yes, USC is down by 17 points. But they'll be starting at their own 6. However, there is a penalty marker all the way back near where Drew Chrisman kicked the ball away.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 1 on the USC. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 21, Ohio State. His foul's offset. First down, USC. Each player.
So offsetting personal fouls after the play was over for unsportsmanlike conduct. Leaves the ball at the 6-yard line. And for a team that's turned it over 3 times.
You better be real careful.
You're worried about obviously a 4th giveaway for Clay Helton, but down by 17. Do you have any choice but to send Sam Darnold out there with an aggressive mindset here?
I don't think so. I think there are so many things that can go the wrong way here going into halftime. Your defense has got some stops at some real critical moments. They have just been up against it with turnover after turnover after turnover. So I'm very protective of the football first and foremost with this field position.
Darnold to throw from the end zone. Throws it to the sideline, trying to muscle it out of bounds and just throw it away, and it almost fell to Kendall Sheffield for an interception.
Yeah, this got to be 2 runs. So Ohio State has already burned 2 timeouts.
You can end the half.
Yeah. After that, and you get a holding call in the end zone. I mean, just too many negatives can happen here. And it's 17 points. You're not down 37. It's 17, and your defense has done enough. I think you've got to run the ball here and get out of this half.
The worst starting field position of the first half for USC. And there's a crease to about the 10-yard line for Ronald Jones. Juan Lewis made the tackle. Urban Meyer not opting to use the timeout here. Now Urban Meyer calls a timeout. Well, now you just allowed USC to take a knee and end the half by letting that game clock go under 40 seconds. Now, with no timeouts left for Ohio State, USC can go to victory formation and go to the locker room.
And Ohio State's going to get it to begin the second half. And on one side, Urban Meyer is going to say, we physically dominated this game. We really controlled it in all three phases. You've got the 3 takeaways. And outside of that fumbled punt return where you gave USC a little bit of life, it's going to feel good about it. And if you're Clay Helton on the other side, you've got to create a little bit of a sense of hope. You got points, you took advantage of the takeaway. Meyer having a long conversation here about the clock. Also been talking about a little hold. I wonder if that went back to that little play down on the goal line. You never know. These coaches tend not to forget those things very often. A bit of multitude of conversations.
Give it to Ronald Jones one more time, and that should end the half. So USC was down 24-0. They score the final 7 points of the first half. Ohio State will start the third quarter with the football. But we have seen teams come from much further down than 17 so far this season. So the Trojans are not out of the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic by any stretch. But JT Barrett and the Buckeyes, that's a dominant first half for Urban Meyer's team. And he's standing by with Allison.
Coach Meyer, what has been the key to your defense's ability to affect Sam Darnold and create some of those takeaways?
The defensive line is playing very well. And the best pass defense is a defensive front. Disrupt the quarterback. A great player. If you just let him sit back there, he'll pick you apart, but we're getting pressure on him.
How do you continue to sustain that pressure in the second half?
Well, we lost momentum at the end of the starting quarter, so we got to get it back. We get the ball in the start of the second half. College football is all momentum right now, and so we have to get a nice drive and move the ball down the field and start the second half.
Urban, thank you.
All right, Allison, thanks very much. All the touchdowns of the first half. Result of turnovers, 17-point lead for the Buckeyes at the break. Time for the halftime report. Adnan Burke, take it away.
All right, Bob, thank you very much. It is indeed the Mercedes-Benz halftime report. USC making some noise at the end of the half, and so far it's been all Buckeyes with Jesse Palmer and Joey Galloway. Ohio State 36-0 in the last 10 years when they score a non-offensive touchdown. The defense was key.
I think that's the story of this first half right now, guys. Ohio State's defensive line is living in USC's backfield. I love Clemson's starting 4 on defense, but I think Ohio State's the best D-line in the country because of their depth. They go 11 deep, NFL talent, they're athletic, and they're versatile. They can stop the run, and they can rush the passer, and you saw that in this first half. The athleticism. Watch this as USC tries to set up the wide receiver screen. Just dudes with long arms batting the ball down. You got to be smart how you're going to block the Big Ten defensive player of the year. You're not going to do it with a tight end and a running back.
And the issue for USC is they're doing it with their front 4, and then they leave the 7 in back in coverage, and you can see they're confusing Sam Darnold. Doesn't have enough time to stand in the pocket and really let his guys get the ball off. If Ohio State continues to dominate up front, it's going to be tough for USC to make a comeback. Here we see Darnold with another fumble in this situation. We knew that this defensive line for Ohio State was outstanding, and we knew that the struggle for USC has always been their offensive line, and that is shown here tonight on both sides. It's been dominant up front for Ohio State. The 7 in coverage, there's nothing USC can do.
And Buckeyes offensively, clearly JT Barrett has a lot of experience. You said before the game, Jesse, Jekyll and Hyde, so far he's looked great.
A lot of people watch this game looking to see Sam Darnold, but JT Barrett right now is playing really good football, guys. He's been good throwing the ball, very consistent, very efficient, especially on third down, extending plays with his feet and creating. He's been great running the ball on third and fourth down. Just poised. Looks like a guy playing his 50th game. Not his first rodeo playing here. He's been in a lot of big games in his career.
And for the people here watching Sam Darnold, this is what you get with Sam Darnold. He has a fumble. That's his 9th on the season. He has an interception. That's his 13th on the season. That's been his issue. But you also see the great throws. When he's had time to get the ball out of his hands and downfield, he is incredible. And that's why he looks like a first-round pick in the NFL draft, because of that talent when he does throw the football.
Right now, the Trojans trailing it by 17. Buckeyes have only won 2 bowl games by 24 points or more back in the 2004 Alamo Bowl and the 1982 Holiday Bowl. Still to come here on our halftime report, we'll look ahead to both semifinals with an eye on quarterbacks Baker Mayfield and Kelly Bryant. Keep it locked.
Baker Mayfield might be sealing the Heisman Trophy here in Arlington.
Georgia is your 2017 SEC champion.
Touchdown, Alabama. Take that.
We are just 3 days away. That's right, the playoff is back on New Year's Day. First, the granddaddy of them all as Oklahoma and Georgia in the Rose Bowl, and of course Clemson and Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. Baker Mayfield took over an Oklahoma offense, guys, that was top 23 years ago, and now, Joey, he's transformed them into the nation's best. Can he do it against that Georgia defense?
You know what, we talk so much Baker Mayfield, but Rodney Anderson has been the difference. The last 7 games, he's averaged 125 yards a game. I cannot wait to see Rodney Anderson out in space. That's the design of the Oklahoma offense. Get it to the athletes in space. Rodney Anderson has been a difference, but Roquan Smith, single-handedly, the linebacker from Georgia, wrecked the Auburn offense in the SEC championship game. That matchup is one to watch in the Rose Bowl.
And the sugar for Clemson. He's looked so good in his first year as a starting quarterback. He's been a good runner, physical, good on third down, efficient, short to intermediate throwing the ball. But I think back to the last 2 national championships and those virtuoso performances by Deshaun Watson, who was throwing under duress into small windows, but especially accurate throwing the ball deep down the field. That's my concern with Kelly Bryant, guys. Only completed 27% of his throws that traveled 20 or more yards downfield. Alabama's going to give him a lot of one-on-one opportunities, and Clemson throws as many goes as anybody in college football. When Deion Kane and Ray McLeod have opportunities, Kelly Bryant has to hit those throws.
Well, Alabama and Nick Saban also very good in revenge games. They are 10-2 when playing a team 1 year after losing to them under Nick Saban. David Webb here, the pick 6. Buckeyes leading the Trojans 24-7 at the half. College football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Download the ESPN app now. It's the best way to stay up to date. First game between Ohio State and USC since 2009. Trojans won that game by 3 so far. They're down by 17. Jesse, second half, what do the Trojans do?
They have to adjust their play calling to handle Ohio State's pass rush. You can't block them, so you got to adjust. I think you'll see more 3-step drop. You're going to see them move the launch point, rolling out nakeds and boots, and more screens to running back.
It's tough to adjust when you're getting beat physically. They're getting beat physically on both sides of the ball. We started seeing move Sam Darnold out of the pocket to get the ball out of his hands, but then it only leaves half the field to throw the ball to. They have to find big plays.
With so much talk about Sam Darnold so far, JT Barrett has been putting on a show. His final game for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Barrett, one of the touchdowns here for Ohio State as they're up 24-7 at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Bob with shoes and Brock Heward and Allison Williams. Second half is coming up.
Welcome back to the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic here at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Just about set for the start of the third quarter. The last 7 points of the first half were scored by USC. Problem, the first 24 were scored by Ohio State, including 2 rushing touchdowns for JT Barrett. Bob Wischusen here with Brock Heward, Allison Williams down in the field. 4 total turnovers the first half, resulting in all 4 touchdowns. The physical disadvantage, though, at the line of scrimmage for USC, it's been every bit the factor that you said all week it would be.
We were concerned coming into that game, and you know this building's not been kind to USC. It was last year in the opener against Alabama in a similar way, where you just felt like, man, it is men versus boys at the line of scrimmage. You know, we take a look at that line of scrimmage and just the dominance tonight with our all-state, all-hands-in play. Sometimes it is steam. It is the power. It is 3 blockers there taking on 2, and you just can't handle it. And it leaves one-on-ones outside, and it is meet and Mr. Sam Bradford and do your damage. And other times it is scheme. And you see there, Jerome Baker getting up into the gap. It forces those linemen to block down, and you leave Hubbard in an unblocked situation. He's going to make you pay. So Sam Darnold has seen a little bit of everything. He's seen 8 men in coverage. He's seen multiple blitzes. He's seen that 3-4 rushman package there in those passing situations with Bosa and company. But if you're USC, if you're their fans, if you're starting the second half, you have got to get a 3 and out. Find a little bit of rhythm offensively.
And is there an adjustment to be made for the offense for USC? As you said, would you expect more of a screen game in the second half? You thought that was going to be a big part of the game plan from the start.
Well, screens, shovel passes, and jet sweeps, and just try to get that defense on their heels, and been unable to do so.
Mike Weber takes a knee. It'll come out to the 25 after we check in with Allison.
Bob, you guys are talking about how Ohio State is winning at the line of scrimmage, and USC head coach Clay Helton told me they have gotten physically beaten, but what has really hurt them so far in this ball game is the 3 turnovers. That's been the killer. Now, they were able to get some positive things going with the score late in that first half. He said they have to build on it by coming out ready to play to start the second half. He did say, though, that his guys are in a good frame of mind. They just have to go out there ready to fight.
And both teams without their top corners tonight. Jack Jones out, an ankle injury suffered in the Pac-12 championship game for USC. And for Ohio State, Denzel Ward taking the night off, as he has already determined he's heading to the NFL. So a business decision for Ward tonight. J.K. Dobbins into the heart of that USC defense for a gain of 3.
You could just see that line of scrimmage change and move. Look at this, 3 yards down the line. What you did not see for USC offensively. So Ohio State just wearing that group down. I mean, anytime you create that kind of movement and you're moving those defenders 2 to 3 yards off the ball and winning that game of tug of war, huge advantage offense.
End around. Paris Campbell has a lane. Cuts it back to midfield. Isaiah Langley eventually brought him down after he picked up 21.
So you saw Jane Harris with a nickel blitz on that first down. They can feel that. This is a reaction off that. You want to try to blitz? You want to bring players off the edges? Well, we're going to change it. We're going to use all 53 yards horizontally. There's a guy they wanted to get involved. That's now a couple occasions where he's gotten in space and done damage.
There's the Texas native J.K. Dobbins, stood up and driven back. No gain on first down. Cameron Smith, who we have not called out much tonight, the leading tackler, Buckeyes semifinalist and first team all Pac-12 middle linebacker, stepped up to make the stop. Barrett to the sideline. Austin Mack reaching for the first down and comes up about a half-yard shy. Brings up third down and short.
And this goes without saying, if you're USC, you have got to. And you had a 3rd and 1 earlier. And it was Nwosu that made the play off the edge, 42. Urban Meyer thinking 4 downs here. That surprised me with the physical dominance they've had.
I actually marked him out at the 43, so this is more like 3rd down and about a yard and a half. Barrett on a keeper, one-on-one in the open field, comes up short. Jane Harris made the stop, and now it's 4th down and a little less than 1.
He's going to trust the big boys. This is a reflection of what they did in that first half.
And USC get a stop. Barrett driven back, second effort. Does he get the ball across the line to gain? Rasheem Green drove him back, but a second effort and reaching the ball out by Barrett. Oh, that's so close. They've got the nose of the football right on our first down line. Now, of course, our line is not exact, so this might require a measurement. Looks like they're going to run the chains out.
I'll tell you what, that was an awesome job by Rasheem Green to make this ever so close.
USC gets the stop on downs. that Trojan sideline just exploded.
Well, we showed you that tug of war that went the way of Ohio State in the first half. Not that time. That is Rasheem Green, 94, driving back the right guard, Demetrius Knox. Knocked him back. That's exactly what the Buckeyes did in the first half to USC. There's a little bit of pride. Like Hilton tells Allison, we're not going to quit. We're the conference champions in the Pac-12. We have shown tremendous resolve all season long. It's the biggest play of the night for 94 Green.
Now can their offense capitalize with great field position to start off from their own 42-yard line? Can the Trojans fight their way back in the game? And this play blown dead before it gets started.
That's a good thing it was.
The previous play is under further review. The ruling on the field was Ohio State was short of the first down.
So replay buzzes down just before the snap. Now it looks on the replay that we saw like Barrett was down before he was able to reach the ball out. Couldn't see his knees in the pile, but it even looked like his elbow hit before he reached the ball out, but they want to make sure. And this is a game-changing decision.
Wasn't there a Michigan-Ohio State game in a spot that was kind of important late in that game? Yeah, and he does not reach that ball out that until he is obviously down, contact to the ground.
Hard to tell if his knee's down, but it looks like his elbow was down before he reached the ball out. And again, you have to have indisputable evidence to overturn the call.
Look at him drive with those legs. I think you're right. I think his knees did not go down. It was that left elbow.
The elbow looks like it might be down there. The shoulder down as well as the ball's right by his helmet.
The field is confirmed. He was short of the line to gain. First down, USC.
So it is confirmed by replay. It is a turnover on downs, and USC has the football.
And it was all set up by Rasheem Green. That was his play. Who's going to do it on that defensive side? He's been spending the entire evening talking about the Buckeyes and what they did. Who's going to make the play for USC? And it was Rasheem Green.
Now they tipped their hand a bit by handing it to Ronald Jones, but so often when we see sudden change with a turnover, an interception, a fumble, you see a shot down the field. Would you dial up a shot here?
As aggressively as Ohio State came after that run, they do just that.
Here's a play action pass. And Darnold is looking downfield, floats one to a wide open Burnett, and he missed him. Darnold leaned back a bit as the rush was all over him. And that is a missed opportunity for the Trojans.
But watch the receiver here. Watch Burnett just slow down. Kind of hesitates for just a moment there, and that's an obvious poor throw. But it's indecision. And you can see Burnett looking back at Sam. Sam kind of shaking his head, just indecision between two guys that have thrown that route 1,000 times. And more than anything, that led to the incompletion.
There's a screen, caught by the tight end, Tyler Petit. And he only picks up a couple of yards. Good read by Chris Worley. Third down and 8 after the turnover on down. So an enormously important play for USC.
You felt it. You felt it. That first down that got blown dead. You could see Ohio State come, and that was the exact right call. They got everything they wanted, other than the execution between Darnold and Burnett on that first down pass.
Another blitz, a rollout for Darnold, off his back foot to the sideline, incomplete. So it's a 3 and out for the Trojans after they get the takeaway on downs.
We just talk about the relentless nature of this group. Right, we saw it on the previous 4th down. Rasheem Green picking on the right guard, and that time Voorhees, the true freshman, just no match for Lewis as he gets into the face of Bradford, and that's disappointing. You get your stop, you have your shot on first down, you do run the screen. Unfortunately, you just can't get any space to make that third down completion.
Wobbly kick. A.J. Hill to the 25-yard line with the fair catch. Only a 31-yard punt from Reed Bedrovich.
The shadows were large, weren't they? But once you stepped into the light so they could see you, you've been pretty successful yourself, huh? There's just one hurdle left to create your own shadow for the next guy.
And Kelly Bryant will have his chance on New Year's Day. All part of the college football playoff semifinals on ESPN. Oklahoma, Georgia kick it off in the Rose Bowl game presented by Northwestern Mutual at 5 in Pasadena. And then we head to the Superdome for the All-State Sugar Bowl. Clemson, Alabama, both games on ESPN Deportes, streaming live on the ESPN app. Here at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Back to the air, under pressure is Barrett. Breaks a tackle on the scramble. And J.T. Barrett out to the 41-yard line or so. As he is brought down, they'll mark him down right at the 40. Nwosu eventually brought him down.
And the leading rusher for the Buckeyes tonight, that's not a surprise to me. I think with the nature of this game and as aggressive, especially here in the second half, as USC is going to have to be, as this clock will not be on their side. There's going to be more of Barrett breaking away, more opportunities for him in the open field where I still think he's at his very best.
Jack Jones is on the field for USC at corner, trying to give them what he can. Barrett all day to throw, finds his check down. It's K.J. Hill. A gain of 3.
Trying to double move. If USC was going to be aggressive on that first down snap, that same area of the field, coordinators love to take their shots between the 40s. You see it so often in football. Trying to take a shot. JT does the smart thing. It's not there. Check it down.
Bobbled snap. J.T. Barrett keeps his composure. Another check down. Terry McLaurin driven back. About 5 yards shy of a first down. So that brings up a 3rd down and 5. Incomplete behind McLaurin. That's a 3rd down stop for USC.
Just see what pressure does. You saw it with Darnold, and we've seen it all night long on the other side. That first down incompletion. We've called Nwosu's name quite a bit tonight. Nwosu is just a difference maker. He is relentless in his effort and his want to. And just enough, you got to get him off of his spot. If you've done it on the other side to Darnold, you're going to try to do the same thing to J.T. Barrett. And that's advantage. The more USC and Clancy Pendergast can get Ohio State into those 3rd down passing situations, the more opportunities they have to force these punts.
Drew Chrisman just gets it away, and what a kick it is. Spiraling behind a Jane Harris, and a big break for USC as it hops into the end zone. Out to the 20-yard line for the Trojans when we come back.
The Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, brought to you by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy. Taco Bell, where you can experience the power of the dollar. AT&T. At Northwestern Mutual, spend your life living.
Sad, just be able to play. This my last game being with all my brothers, my teammates who I've been with for 4 years, just seeing everybody grow, seeing everybody, just overcome challenges and adversity, being through all the ups and downs stuff together, just all those memories come to an end, so it's always sad.
Well, no player has grown more under Clay Helton than Uchenna Nwosu. He was a frustrated freshman, barely played, fought with a teammate, was sent home from the Holiday Bowl, and he said that was a turning point for him. And Helton went out of his way to put his arm around him, mentor him, and now Todd McShay has him listed as the #9 outside linebacking prospect in the upcoming NFL draft. To the ground, Ronald Jones. Gets to the edge. Picks up 4.5. Tyquan Lewis tripped him up.
And that's positive. And we've seen many of these that are 0 or 1 or 2 or going the wrong way. That is positive. That is getting and sealing that edge. And this is staying on schedule, which is what you have to do. That opens up your movement and your play pass. Allows you to dictate instead of that front and that pass rush on the other side that's had their way.
39 yards rushing for Jones. This time a blast up the middle for Ced Ware. That's about as impressive as we have seen the run game look in tonight's game for USC. Picked up 13.
Here's a little bit more of that tempo, and the only way you can do that is to move the chains. That's what they wanted to do, and they at least show it. Trying to get that defense to remain on the field, about the same area they took that shot in the play pass game on the previous drive.
Nothing there on first down this time. As Ced Ware is dropped for a loss of a couple. Sam Hubbard again.
Well, and that's on the tight end. I mean, that's just a mismatch. We've seen it. Bebe is a nice athletic guy running routes, but a real challenge for these tight ends to either pass block even with chips, or in that case you're trying to just cut off that defensive end. And whether it's sealing the edge on the outside or crashing inside, these ends are having their way.
Darnold, long throw towards the sideline, trying to wall his man off was Michael Pittman, and it's broken up by Kendall Sheffield. Now it's 3rd down and 12. Dropbacks for Darnold have brought the blitz. 12 on the play clock as Darnold tries to get his team set. Calls for the ball with 5 on the clock and a false start. Now it'll be 3rd down and 17.
Prior to the snap, false start, 70 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And Urban said it, and Clay Helton knows it. Urban said it to Allison going into half. The best pass defense you have is that rush. And at times, just the threat of these 4 rushmen, and Clay Helton knew it yesterday when he sat down with us. We have got to keep Sam comfortable. But when this package comes on the field, whether it's 3rd and 7, 3rd and 12, and in this case 3rd and 17, there's a reason those offensive linemen flinch. They know the disadvantage they are up against with that speed on the field.
It's another blitz. Sam Darnold extending the play, fires one across his body, right to the first down marker. And Deontay Burnett's got it. What a terrific reset and delivery from Darnold.
And that's what the elite ones do. That's what they do. How are you going to beat that group up front? You see finally a little bit of emotion from USC on that side as well. I got you outnumbered, I got you beat, I'm going to move you off your spot, but that's okay. I'm going to set my feet and still find a way to move the chains in 3rd and 17.
That was special.
That was. Those are the plays. Those are the ones. Those are the highlight reels that you're going to see these scouts mix, and man, there's just not many that can do that.
Ronald Jones into the secondary, tripped up. Jordan Fuller got him down, but not before Jones got inside the 35. Out of the Buckeye 34-yard line, picking up 16.
Just look at the life it gives you. That energy and that momentum, the defense getting their stops here. USC finally giving this stadium and some of their fans and their sidelines a little bit of juice.
Jones again. Maybe a yard.
You guys were mentioning what NFL scouts are seeing from Sam Darnold on the field tonight. Well, I can tell you when it comes to off the field, it's going to be all positive. Spent a little time with him this week. He is so impressive of a young man. And one of the things I loved, he told us, he said he learned from Deshaun Watson to set a goal for every month. He did that throughout the season. His goal for this month, with the extra time leading up to this big game in the Cotton Bowl, was to better himself as a person. He said, I just wanted to make sure I used my time off to spend time with my loved ones and family and give thanks for all I have.
Play action here as Darnold heaves one deep for Mitchell. Can't haul it in. Looked like he had one arm just about set to wrap around the football, but it came free as he went to the ground. That's a pretty good throw from Sam Darnold, and Allison's right. He is a terrific kid.
We have seen this now a couple times. Some contact, and you're going to hear some boo birds from USC. Sam Darnold wanted it. Some folks in our booth wanted it. You see a little back and forth at any time, and I stand consistent on this. If you impede the receiver's opportunity to go get it, and that's what Clay's mad about. There's a ginormous screen that they're all watching it to. You impede that receiver's opportunity to make a play, it's got to be called.
Third down and long. Darnold under pressure and sacked. Sam Hubbard again. So on third down, USC doesn't get the flag, and on fourth down, now they're going to have to kick it away.
That's a three-man rush. That's how dominant this group has been. A couple sacks now for Hubbard tonight. That's simply a three-man rush. Sam Darnold saying, come on, there's no way. You have got to give me that call. I've got a one-on-one. I got a senior that beats the true freshman. Yeah, he pushed off a little bit, but there was contact that impedes his opportunity to go make a huge play in this game.
Bedrovich trying to change field position, going for the coffin corner, and it's out of bounds, but where? All the way out to the 15-yard line. This on second down. A non-call. Probably should have been a flag. And the frustration. Hard to blame Clay Helton. By Goodyear, watching over the hard work and determination of blimp-worthy athletes for over 60 years. Goodyear, official sponsor of the college football playoff. And especially at this time of year, the ESPN app is a fan's best friend. Stream every ESPN and ABC college football game live at home or on the go. Get all the bowl games, the scores, news, and highlights as well. Download the ESPN app to start streaming now. First and 10 for the Buckeyes from their own 15-yard line. Little zone read to J.K. Dobbins. Back to the line of scrimmage. J.N.A. Harris came up to make the tackle.
You see the resources. I mean, USC is committing it just about every single possession here now. They're bringing nickel pressures. They're overloading aside. They're being aggressive on this side of the ball. Exactly what you have to do down 17.
And do they have any other choice?
Nope.
Dobbins patiently allowing the blocks to set up in front of him. And he gets to the 20-yard line, maybe a shade across. Cameron Smith drove him back. And here is another third down forced by the USC defense. 3rd and 4. Five-man rush. Barrett, well protected, slings one to the sideline, broken up, and a flag out. Oh, that is going to infuriate the USC sideline as Austin Mack bumped by Jack Jones. Let's get the call.
Pass interference on the defense, number 25. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul, automatic, first down.
And even if it's a good call, it's just that it came on the heels of a missed call when USC had the football. as they should have had a pass interference called in the end zone.
I'll stand by what I said earlier. If you impede the receiver's opportunity to go back and catch it, and you did, that should be pass interference. And it should have been on the other side.
Campbell looking to turn the corner. This time the edge set by the USC defense. And he is brought down for a loss. Cameron Smith got some help from Chris Hawkins.
He sure did, and it was Iosefa that set the edge there for USC. USC is not giving up that edge. And whether it's some end arounds or some outside stretch, Iosefa there doing kind of like the Ohio State ends have done on the other side. Set the edge and let the pursuit come and finish.
Blitz. Barrett over the middle. Marcus Ball 4 yards shy of a first down, so it brings up another 3rd down and 4.
Pace here from Urban.
Barrett on a sprint down. Incomplete. Intended for Campbell. So it will be the 3rd punt in the last 4 possessions for Ohio State to go along with turning it over on downs. So the USC defense is doing its job. They are holding their team in the game. It's just their offense has scored 1 touchdown, and it was after a muff punt.
Number 4 for USC is now number 92.
And again, a number change just to make sure you don't have a double number out on the field for USC.
That's one of the highlights of the day. That's the biggest double X jersey on a corner turn safety with Hawkins that you've ever seen. He at least kind of tucked it underneath. Get that thing hemmed up.
Crispin, this time a wobbly kick, and it takes a USC hop just inside the 25-yard line. Can Sam Darnold and the Trojans get anything going on offense? We return to the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Bob Wischusen, Brock Ewert, Allison Williams here in Arlington. Now, there are a lot of folks here, obviously, from Ohio, rooting against Sam Darnold, but maybe they'll be rooting for him before too long. Remember, that Buckeye fan is a Browns fan. He might be rooting against Sam Darnold tonight, but he could see himself as a Sam Darnold fan before too long if he does indeed come out, and maybe he goes number 1 to the Browns. Play action here. Comeback route. Fighting for it is Michael Pittman, and he makes a contested catch in front of the true freshman Okudah at the 41-yard line.
He's good. We saw him earlier with the one-handed catch, 6'4", 215. And that's exactly what you're going to get against these corners on the outside. It is going to be contested. You're going to have to fight through contact and at times even penalties. It's well done for Pittman.
Gain of 18. Ronald Jones cuts back to the 46, picks up 4.5. Again, the only USC touchdown was off of a muffed punt by KJ Hill, where they started at the plus 15-yard line. So they have not put together one scoring drive tonight where they have started with any distance between themselves and the Buckeyes end zone.
They're one big play away from making this a 10-point game, and as Urban Meyer said to Allison, it's about momentum in college football so much these days, and right now it is at a stalemate in this 3rd quarter between the two teams. Who's going to make the play to turn it?
Ronald Jones maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Robert Landers, who's listed 3rd at defensive tackle on the Buckeye depth chart, has been in the backfield more than once tonight. Just shows their depth up front. Big 3rd down here for USC. Will it happen before the end of the 3rd quarter as Darnold looks over, and he's running out of time if he wants to snap the ball. They're going to go to the 4th quarter. So we will head to the 4th quarter. Ohio State maintaining a 3-score lead, and they have done it tonight with their defense. They have been all over Sam Darnold. Robert Landers. Fumble recovery from Jerome Baker was a big play as well. And add on a Damon Webb pick six. Nearly half the dropbacks tonight for Sam Darnold. He has either been hurried, hit, or sacked by the defensive front for Ohio State, and facing 3rd down and 4 to start the 4th quarter of the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Bob Wischusen here with Brock Ewert, Allison Williams trying to keep the game alive. Big 3rd down to start the 4th quarter for Sam Darnold. Looking at another blitz. Takes a shot down the sideline. Drops it in, but maybe out of bounds. Tyler Vaughns. The officials get together. He thinks he's in. And these are the 2 officials that have to decide and make a call. It looks like they're going to give him the catch.
The ruling on the field is a completed pass.
Get possession right there. That left foot is down. Is there possession there?
They tried to get a snap off before replay could buzz down and didn't get it done.
The previous play is under further review. The ruling on the field was a completed pass.
Well, we had them up tonight. We've had a couple spots on both sides. I think they've gotten those right. We had a play earlier with Burnett in that 1st quarter. Catch, no catch, survival with the ground. Is there possession here of the ball with that left foot down?
The ruling on the field is a completed catch. So it has to be indisputable that his foot is coming off the turf before he has possession of the football. And if we freeze frame it and it's in his hands and that left toe's still down, I'm not sure how you would be able to take away the call on the field once they set that precedent.
I am not sure how you completed that pass 40 yards down the field with that little room to the boundary. I mean, there was no margin for error in any phase of that. Now, a true freshman out there, and we've seen Okudah now a couple different times. And the cage is thrown into that spot. That's usually Denzel Ward. He's made the decision, like a bunch have, to not play tonight.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands of a completion. 1st down, USC.
And that deep shot. And the ruling on the field standing has USC in business in the red zone and puts Sam Darnold with a 37-yard gain on that play. Over 4,000 yards this season. The first USC quarterback to ever break 4,000 yards passing in a season.
Was the tight end previously in the red zone, running away from coverage. A nifty little play, man-to-man coverage they expect down here. Who can you create some separation running away from?
Ronald Jones can't create separation there. Dragged back by Jalen Holmes. No gain on 1st down.
Well, when you don't block them, you have no chance. That's on the grade sheet. That's called insafe. That's a no chance. Whether it's Jalen Holmes or Bosa or Hubbard or any number of these guys, that is just a dead play against a group. Just can't afford many of those.
Darnold floating one for Burnett. Incomplete. And Burnett had a step. Darnold just a little too much air under the football. Now it's 3rd down and 10.
And what a route here from Burnett, and you could see Darnold right there. This is a little double move. This is a little spin move here. Little spin cycle, getting exactly what you want. Sometimes as a QB, those are hard. You're trying to anticipate and throw it. Everything condenses. You just got to get air on it, and you just got to give your receiver room. What a beautiful route. Once again, unfortunately, a lack of execution. That's a touchdown.
Darnold over the middle. That's going to be well short of the first down. Tyler Vaughn's brought down at the 10, makes it 4th down and 4, and without hesitation, Clay Helton's going to try and make it a 2-possession game by sending the field goal group out.
And that's the right move. This is a have-to. Just like hitting that 2nd down touchdown pass, getting what you want and getting your matchup on a safety, and a beautiful route there by Burnett. He just couldn't finish.
28-yarder for the true freshman Chase McGrath. Hits the upright. Back in play. And the ball is dead when it hits the upright. So Okudah tried to take the Karen the other way, but with 2 minutes gone by in the 4th quarter, that is a backbreaker for USC. Coming away empty in the red zone, no points, and it's still a 3-score game.
And Helton's reaction says it all.
We are back with tonight's Capital One pivotal performance. Damon Webb, he's got a couple of takeaways tonight. He actually had a game-clinching interception to end the Big Ten championship game, and he set up the first 2 scores of the night for Ohio State. Fumble recovery on Deontay Burnett, pick 6 of Sam Darnold, and it's still a 3-score lead after the missed field goal for Ohio State, starting now at their own 20-yard line.
And this tests the resolve of this defensive group, who has been really good in the second half. Really done all they can. Possession after possession after possession. They've got to continue to dig deep.
Weber to the 26-yard line. Fatu dragged him down. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
This is a pretty clear and telling statistic. They get it done in the other phases, special teams, defensive. Put points on the board, they don't lose.
Play action. JT Barrett over the middle. Bobbled catch made by Marcus Baugh. And that is going to set the record for JT Barrett. Yet another record, as he has now passed Drew Brees for the total offense record in Big Ten history. Weber driven back after a gain of about 1.5 yards. Cameron Smith made the stop for USC.
And JT does it between the tackles. And I think that stat, those numbers, and there's no way you pass Drew Brees unless you're durable, you're available, as JT has been now for 4 years, largely fighting through injuries. So dangerous with over 3,100 rushing yards in that 12,000 plus total.
JT Barrett pulls it back and is dragged down in the flat. Jordan Iosefo with a really nice play one-on-one against Barrett. Still picked up 3. And that brings up 3rd down right at midfield. 3rd and a long 6.
And this has been blitz in disguise and getting JT uncomfortable in the second half. Right, you almost have felt here that Ohio State's not going to give the ball away. And why would you? As your defense has largely controlled this game, because you're not giving your opponent anything, and that really has been so much of the plan, it feels like, in this second half.
Four-man rush. Under pressure is Barrett. Avoids a sack and now gets tripped up. Nwosu didn't quit. And Barrett nearly escaped. That'll be 4th down, and that will get USC the football back.
And that will be another teaching tape stunt. You just don't do it better than that. And you show all sorts of different pictures. You're moving personnel around. You're getting the QB thinking. And then ultimately right guard and right tackle cannot pick up that stunt.
Number 92.
NFL loves him. I'm talking to NFL people. They love the versatility of Nwosu and his ability to do so many things around the line of scrimmage.
Play clock winding down. Goes to 0. It'll be a delay of game. They did not get the snap off unless Urban Meyer called the timeout from the sideline.
Timeout.
He did.
Ohio State. They're first.
Just under 10 minutes to go. USC about to get the football back. He's up 17. And he's not happy.
The Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, brought to you by Goodyear, hardworking tires that deliver blimp-worthy performance. The Capital One Venture Card. Earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day. Ford, going further so you can. And Chick-fil-A. Party season is Chick-fil-A catering season. Order now.
A lot of people that helped me, along my journey. Being here at Ohio State, I had a lot of goals coming in. Was able to accomplish a lot of them.
Well, JT Barrett's career is going to go down as legendary in the Big Ten. Even if there were times where maybe a Buckeye fan felt like they came up shorter than they should. J.D. Harris trying to make the first man miss. And he gets to the 18-yard line before he is brought down by Paris Campbell as we take a look at this blimp-worthy play brought to you by Goodyear.
Well, this is it. This is the record breaker. Passing Drew Brees all-time total offense. Owns the total touchdown record in the conference by a long ways. And is he a pocket passer and a guy at the next level? No. Is he going to work his tail off to prove doubters wrong? Yes. But when it comes to his career in Columbus, you're exactly right. It will be remembered so fondly down the road. And 4-0, most importantly, against that team up north.
Still down 3 scores with 9:49 to go. Now no margin for error for USC. Sam Darnold's going to have to push the ball down the field, and he'll try here. To midfield, Stephen Mitchell. Did he get in bounds? Flag down. He may have been interfered with, even if he was ruled to be out of bounds. It's an incomplete pass. He was out of bounds.
Holding on the defense, number 8. Penalty is 10 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
That's on Kendall, Sheffield.
And there's a little hold. Not pass interference because the ball not up in the air yet. Now, is that right foot in bounds? Or is it just out of bounds?
So 10 yards out to the 27-yard line for USC.
You can see clearly out of bounds.
Four-man rush. Darnold on the slant. Finds Burnett. Close to a first down. Brought down about a yard shy by Damon Webb.
Gosh, when you look at these last couple possessions, that near and should have been pass interference call in the end zone. A missed field goal on the previous possession, and what this game could be in these moments because the defense has held their own. Also time to pick up the pace here, and you don't want many snaps under 20 seconds on that play clock from here forward.
USC got a very friendly spot. That was a first down without measurement. Quick pop pass to Burnett. Now to the 42-yard line. Forward progress for a gain of 5.
Right, I mean, you got to go. You got to get 3 scores here. You got to go. Your urgency and your tempo is got to pick up here.
Especially for an offense that yesterday, talking to T. Martin, said we're going to play with tempo. We're going to play with the tempo Ohio State hasn't seen yet this season. But the play clock already under 20 as Darnold's getting his team set. Shot down the field. That's dropped in. Tyler Vaughns makes a terrific catch. Out of bounds at the Buckeye 27.
You see it, it's the same coverage. I mean, Graciano is not going to deviate from who they are and what they do. They're going to play man-to-man coverage, and a beautiful job of creating so much space that time to the boundary, not getting pushed into the white.
Another shot for Vaughns. Incomplete. flag out. That's going to be Jeffrey Okudah, the true freshman, that's going to get called.
Pass interference on the defense, number 29. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's why you play this defense. You're going to force it and force those calls. There's no face guarding in college football, but that is that same concept we've talked about all night. Just not allowing the receiver the opportunity to come back and get the ball. You're impeding his route.
Greg Schiano has gone exclusively 4-man rush on this drive, and Darnold has had some time. Granted, up by 3 scores. At some point, does he just get sick of that, start dialing up blitzes again?
Nope.
Another 4-man rush. Darnold under pressure, hit from behind. The ball's out. Is it another USC giveaway? Robert Landers, he's got the fumble recovery. Jalen Holmes with the rush on Darnold. And the frustration continues for the USC quarterback. What a play by Holmes.
You can see he wanted to throw there the first time. That arm coming forward is the call in the judgment. Where's the ball out before that long delivery is moving forward? That's why you don't 4-man rush, because the 3 previous snaps, yeah, they hit their shot. Got a holding call, pass interference, but there were guys in his face repeatedly. And he has to double clutch there. And as of now, the 4th takeaway for Schiano's defense.
Turnovers and that pass rush from the Buckeyes have been the story of this game. J.K. Dobbins jitterbugging out to about the 18-yard line. Marvell Tell made the stop.
Well, they'll be the story of Sam Darnold if he decides here in the next couple weeks that he's done as a Trojan as well. Every one of those will be studied. And if he goes pro, he'll sit down with John Gruden, and the takeaway reel, turnover reel will be shown, every single one of those as far as the ball security goes, and making that top priority.
Dobbins. A couple of yards shy of a first down. Iosefa made the stop.
The Trojans going to kick themselves a little bit in the second half. But in that first half, they were overwhelmed physically. But this defense, give Clancy Pendergast and his defensive staff a ton of credit here in the second half. They've been aggressive. They've mixed their coverages and looks. They've gotten off the field for Clay Helton on 3rd downs. Giving that offense every opportunity. Missed field goal, couple turnovers, lack of execution down in the red zone. The difference in the second half.
J.T. Barrett short of the first down. Chris Hawkins made the stop, so it's another stop defensively for USC. And now Clay Helton's going to call timeout and use his first to stop the clock with 6:48 to go.
Timeout, USC. Their first. Please reset the game clock to 6:50. 6:50.
Step aside for just a moment. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. When Mother Nature blitzes, you'll need the very best traction on and off the field. You'll need weather ready. Goodyear, more driven. Bob Wischusen, Brock Ewert, Allison Williams back at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Past the midway point of the 4th quarter. And New Year's Day, 12:30 Eastern on ESPN. ESPN Deportes and the ESPN app. It's the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Number 12 UCF trying to finish off an undefeated season as they take on Auburn in Atlanta. A punt down to Ajane Harris, and he is bottled up inside the 30-yard line. Brock Ewert, Allison Williams, that's your next stop. Another New Year's 6 bowl game for you guys on Monday.
Yeah, and I think there will be a similar theme and conversation just about a group up front. And Auburn is so good in their front 7. And Central Florida be able to block them and utilize all their talent and speed. I mean, a very similar conversation what we had with Clay Helton last night. I mean, he knew this and where this game would be decided. You've got to be able to protect up front. And then obviously in this one, it's been the miscues. It's been the 4 giveaways, and you just can't afford that against a quality opponent like the Buckeyes.
Darnold looking at another 4-man rush over the middle to the 35-yard line, a gain of 6 for Deontay Burnett. The last 2 possessions for USC, they have moved the ball down in scoring range, but a fumble in the red zone and a missed field goal to go along with the 3 first-half giveaways that all resulted in Buckeye touchdowns. There's a lot to regret for USC, assuming they run out of time in the last 6 minutes. Darnold shooting one down the sideline. Broke it up. Pittman, the intended receiver. Well covered by Sheffield.
You know what most elite defenses have, and we're going to get to watch a bunch of them on Monday. And Sam Darnold knows this, is they just stick to what they do. Every elite defense I was ever around, saw, covered, they don't deviate. Right? They lose their best corner, Denzel Ward, makes a business decision tonight. They don't deviate. Doesn't matter if it's true freshmen out there. We're going to rush 4. We're going to do what we do. We're going to play that press man, even with a 17-point lead and 5 minutes to go.
Now they show blitz, and they will bring one. Darnold, quarterback run. First down. Pulled down by Malik Harrison from behind, but able to move the chains.
And you take a look at this, to your point earlier about kicking yourself. 67 plays for USC. Remember, OSU had 22 in that first quarter. Got just 54. They can't find a 3rd down conversion on offense.
And it might be a foregone conclusion, but USC's got to go. Another blitz. Darnold avoids a sack. Now gets bottled up and thrown down again. And there is Nick Bosa at the bottom of the pile. 6th sack of the night for the Buckeyes.
And just look at it. I mean, look at them. Look at all of them. Right at the line. I dare you. I dare you to keep throwing these fade routes. Maybe we get a holding call or pass interference, but that's all you got. That's a low percentage and low odds, and then eventually we're going to get you once. Right? We're going to create that negative play that's going to make your life miserable.
111 tackles for loss on the season now for Ohio State. Counter handoff to Ronald Jones. Nothing easy. A yard, and it'll be 3rd down and 15.
And it's no fun playing this position when there's just not many answers. I mean, the answers, and Tom Blackledge said this beautifully in the Pac-12 championship game, that Darnold this year is at his best creating and making plays outside the pocket. There's also times when you play these defenses that, I mean, you got to win one-on-one. You got to beat man coverage. You got to make those plays, but you're just playing into the hands. And again, look at this. They're just daring you.
Darnold over the middle. Finds him at Bebe. 4 yards shy of the first down. Obviously, USC is going to line up to go for it with 4 minutes to go. Another USC blitz look as on the slant, Burnett is able to make the catch. Once again, Ohio State brings pressure, and that time the protection for USC just held up enough.
There's one thing that no Buckeye fan can ever say is, wow, we shouldn't have gone to prevent. they don't have that in the playbook for Greg Schiano and Urban Meyer, continuing to be aggressive, continuing to be who they are.
Yards to Malapaya. Another tackle for Jerome Baker. Darnold steps up. High throw. Burnett pulls it in at the 20-yard line. And that will stop the clock with 2:29 to go.
A very rare snap of some soft zone defense that time. And I think you said Sam Bradford steps up. He's not had many opportunities to do that this evening.
Darnold under pressure. And what else is new for that Ohio State Buckeye defensive front? The pocket collapses. Sack number 7. It looks like the true freshman Chase Young gets in on the act. A timeout is called by USC. So we'll step aside just for a moment. Come back to Arlington. Welcome back to the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, where they are getting set to bring some hardware out for Ohio State, as USC down by 3 scores with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go. And stay tuned for the Ford Escape postgame. After the game, we will have postgame reaction, the trophy celebration, interviews with Allison down on the field. And that is a nice piece of hardware that the Buckeyes should be lifting as champions of the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Sam Darnold playing for pride and trying to keep the game alive. Wheels to the sideline, takes a heavy hit out of bounds, and there's the flag. Malik Harrison gives him a shove, and now after the play is over, said where a running back comes over and takes a shot at Malik Harrison. That draws another flag, and now you want to make sure that we do not have anything ugly break out, with Clay Helton in the middle of it trying to keep his team away from those Buckeyes players. And this altercation's not over yet. Another flag out.
This is 2 things. This is immense frustration for a very proud conference champion in USC. They got bullied tonight. They just could not do anything, especially offensively. And then number 2, this is protecting your quarterback. This shows you the love and the admiration that Sam Darnold has, not just with his offensive players, with the entirety of his team. And again, over 3 days in Dallas, that's the thing that resonated to all of us more than anything else, is how much respect and command he has for this team. And Helton, I know, is frustrated. He does not like that kind of extracurricular activity.
Well, we've got officials that are missing hats. We've got at least 3 officials that are putting flags back in their pockets. So we've got, after the play was over, a minimum of 3 flags that were thrown. So there's a lot to sort out. And another look at the hit by Malik Harrison, with Darnold getting to the sideline and taking an extra shove. And then you could see said where number 28, backup running back, coming over. He takes a shot at Harrison, and it escalates from there.
And there's no doubt about the original phone. Sam Darnold is in the white, and he gets shoved further into cheerleaders.
And Damon Arnett, corner number 3, and Buckeye Red was over there, and he was involved as well. So
that's frustration. I think a lot of defenders that played a really good second half, and a lot of pride that they showed.
A lot to
go over. There are multiple
here.
fouls on the play. Personal foul, number 39 on the defense, a late hit out of bounds. Unsportsmanlike conduct foul, number 28 on the offense. There's also number 21, USC, came off the bench. He is disqualified for fighting. Number 21. All of those fouls offset. 3rd down.
So that's Tyler Vaughns that has been ejected for USC. Buckeyes coming over, I guess, just that little shove.
USC number 21 on the offensive side of the ball is not disqualified. Number 21 who came off the bench is disqualified.
So that's Jamel Cook, backup cornerback, who obviously also wears 21, as does Tyler Vaughn's on the offensive side. So I have to clarify which USC 21 has been ejected.
One of the things you love about college football, the double number.
It's a play-by-play guy's best friend. My favorite this year was Michigan, who had 4 players that wore 3.
Do your job.
Now, one was Rashawn Gary. He was pretty easy to pick out of the crowd. So after all is said and done, 3rd down, and now Urban Meyer is going to call a timeout defensively for Ohio State.
Ohio State.
So with under 2 minutes to go, and a game that is all but decided, the Buckeyes are on their way to winning this Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. You said it the moment we started to watch tape, probably about 2 weeks ago. We started to go back and forth. This is going to be, if USC can avoid it, their toughest physical mismatch of the season. That's the way it's played out. That pass rush has created those turnovers more often than not today for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I think maybe outside Notre Dame. We saw Notre Dame this year. That's an awfully physical team, a veteran team, some NFL offensive linemen and defensive linemen, and they really pushed USC around. They've just not faced a lot of this. Right? I mean, over the course of the year, they faced 1 scoring defense in the top 30. One rush defense in the top 25. That was Texas. The top 30 was Stanford. Right, and now we've gotten a little taste in bowl season, this Big Ten Pac-12 matchup, and it has gone the way of the Big Ten in big time. Right, last night, Michigan State, a very similar kind of message sent that physically, sorry, Washington State, you can't compete with us. And in many ways today, Ohio State pushing USC around as well.
After the timeout, 3rd down, and a long 7, close to 8. Darnold, corner route, incomplete. Intended for Burnett. And it has been bowl domination between these 2 conferences for the Big Ten.
And the Big Ten overall as well. Beat the hot Boston College team here down the stretch. Purdue gets it done late against Arizona, and then you see what Michigan State did last night. And there'll be one more shot at it. 4th opportunity tomorrow. Washington will get Penn State. If you want anything right now, Washington is going to have to match the physical level of that Big Ten, and especially that Big Ten East.
Darnold on 4th down. To the sideline. Burnett. Is he short of the line to gain? Trying to figure out where to spot the football. And he may have just barely come up short, at least based on our 1st down line, but now the officials say without measurement it is. Now, if you were a member of the committee, having seen what you have seen tonight, are you thinking at all about Ohio State? Maybe they should have been in the top 4?
You know what I'm thinking? It happened in Iowa City. I'm serious. How did Iowa score 55 points? I mean, this is a USC team that's hot, right? You got an NFL running back, a top 10 quarterback, top 10 pick in the draft in the NFL with Sam Darnold. A team that was going up and down the fields, right? Scoring 30+ a game, and they've got 7 tonight.
Coming up on Sports Center with SVP as soon as we're done here at the Cotton Bowl Classic. We will assess Sam Darnold's NFL future and what may have been his final game tonight with USC. Also, Kirk Herbstreit's reaction as he has taken in our game. And Westbrook, Giannis, a controversial finish, a buzzer beater that maybe should have been reviewed. It's all on Sports Center after the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic with SVP coming up on ESPN.
And I'm also thinking, and we have seen this for years and years and years, the dominant defensive lines just set the tone. And it's what Clemson's going to bring to the table in that matchup. 2 really good dominant groups. I think Clemson #1 in all of America, and this is the #2 defensive line, and it's expressed itself over the course of this game.
So now USC out of timeouts. Darnold, the pocket collapses, and there's Sam Hubbard. Another sack for the Buckeyes. And now the Trojans are powerless to stop the clock. 8 sacks of Sam Darnold. Darnold running for his life again. Heaves one, a jump ball in the end zone. Broke it up. Kendall, Sheffield all over Michael Pittman. And now it's 4th and goal. Back just inside the 20-yard line. Injury on the field, so Ohio State and Alabama. That was obviously the decision that the committee made. They looked at Alabama, and Alabama, you can make an argument, be a points favorite against all 3 of the other teams in the playoff. They got in. Ohio State was left out. 2020 hindsight, what do you think?
I think they got it right. I think, unfortunately, it is just this. And conference champions do matter, but that loss in Iowa City is just one that I'm sure in that committee it was hard to fathom and understand. And even just watching this over the course of this game tonight, 35 points a game USC was scoring. And to think that the Hawkeyes would put 55 on the board is just, I'm sure that was a conversation over the course of that entire weekend.
Yep. And also the argument that got Ohio State into the college football playoff last year, you can't then use to get them the opposite argument in this year. Last year, they were Alabama. Yeah. They were the non-conference champion that actually lost head-to-head to Penn State. Penn State went on to win the Big Ten, and they got Penn State's spot.
But you and I know, could they play against Georgia and Oklahoma? They played Oklahoma down to the wire. Absolutely. You can match up with any of those teams when you got a group in their front 4 like they've got.
One more chance for Sam Darnold to try and throw one in the end zone. And the Buckeyes not letting up. They bring an all-out blitz. And Darnold heaves it to nowhere. A turnover on downs. And Urban Meyer's team is one victory formation knee away.
And that's just no fun. I mean, it's just no fun to play that position. And you know what? There have been stretches this year for Sam that have been no fun. And Clay knows it. Son of an O-line coach, he knows it. He knows it that if you just become one-dimensional, which is what they became tonight, and you're going to get every blitz known to man and man coverage outside, and Urban's not, with Greg Schiano, is just not going to let up. He now moves to 48-4 when you give him more than a week. Good luck.
And now the final snap to be taken in the Ohio State Buckeye career of J.T. Barrett, and it is a victory knee. The Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic in dominant fashion goes to Ohio State 24-7 over USC.
Congrats, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's 2 of the best right there. As J.T. Barrett with some words of consolation for Sam Darnold. And the Bosa tradition just keeps on rolling in Columbus, as 3 of the last 4 Big Ten defensive linemen of the year have had the last name Bosa, twice for Joey, this year for Nick. He's only a sophomore. He'll be back next year. And Urban Meyer just keeps on churning out wins in Columbus. J.T. Barrett passing Drew Brees in Big Ten history, as he's got more total yards than any other player in the history of the conference. Let's go down to Allison.
Thank you guys very much. Urban Meyer joined by his family. Coach, what did your team show about the quality of this year's Buckeye squad with their ability to come in here and rise up to the challenge of facing the Pac-12 champion?
Well, I think we had 3 wins against top 10 teams. USC is a heck of a football team. Their defense really did a good job against us, but our defense line won that game. And secondary, that quarterback had a lot of respect for him, but the best way to disrupt the quarterback is get after him, and we did.
What was the game plan defensively and up front to do the things you did against that USC front?
We got the best D-line coach in America, and he had him ready to rock and roll, and you saw what I saw. I mean, if you don't let him set his feet, you have a chance, and you saw at the end of the game that the quarterback never set his feet.
And I have to ask you about your quarterback, JT Barrett. What a remarkable career. It comes to an end tonight. As you reflect on the fact that you coached him for the final time, what are the emotions?
Well, I love him. He's a member of the Meyer family, as I said many, many times. But more importantly, he's a legend in Ohio State, and he'll go down as one of the winningest quarterbacks ever to play here and go on his endeavors and do whatever he's going to do. But no, he has a home at Ohio State for the rest of his life.
And you will send him out as a champion in his home state. What does it mean to this group to come away from the Cotton Bowl victorious?
Well, I want to shout out to Billy Price, too, and Taekwon Lewis. And there's so many. This is, I don't use that very often, but I love this team. I love the leaders on this team. And to send them out Cotton Bowl champions, arguably maybe a top 5 finish, that's a heck of a year.
Urban, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A lot of pride in Columbus, and why not? Left out of the college football playoff, the Buckeyes came down here, and they showed everyone how much they meant business in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic as they come away with a 17-point win. And they are just about to hand out the trophy down on the fields. 24-7 is the final. The Buckeyes over the Trojans. Welcome to the Ford Escape postgame here at AT&T Stadium. In dominant fashion, goes to Ohio State. And Bill Walsh always said that the keys to winning is having a quarterback and a fourth quarter pass rush. Well, talk about checking boxes if you're the Buckeyes.
And taking care of the ball. I mean, there's no better indicator, and everybody can always say, wow, don't turn it over, don't turn it over. I hate it when coaches said to me, don't turn it over. I'm not trying to turn it over. Maybe the other guys have something to do with it too, right? Getting hit and sacked and hurried and pressured and just relentless from the beginning. I'll tell you, that opening kickoff, and we can talk about energy and was Ohio State going to bring it? Were they miffed and devastated? Man, they flew down there 1,000,000 miles an hour and they smacked USC, and they didn't start a drive outside the first 15 yards, right? They couldn't get out of their 15-yard line, and it was a testament to the will and want to of that group defensively and in special teams.
We'll step aside for just a moment. We'll come back. Have the trophy
2018
presentation.
Ford Escape postgame is brought to you by Ford. Going further so you can.
Welcome back to the Ford Escape postgame show. The Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. The champions are the Ohio State Buckeyes. Down on the field is Allison Williams.
Well, it's time for the moment that the fans came for, the players fought for. Here to present the trophy to the victors of the 82nd Cotton Bowl Classic. Here's chairman of the Cotton Bowl, Jay McCauley.
Coach Meyer, I'm proud to present the Field Scoville Memorial Trophy to the champions of the 82nd Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Congratulations.
You get to pick it up? Absolutely. I'm going to hand it to you.
We'll try and pick it up. It's heavy, though. He's going to need your help. I'm impressed. That is not a light trophy, Coach. Good work. I have to ask you, how much did this team's ability to dominate at the line of scrimmage translate to a victory here tonight?
Well, defensively dominated, and the best way to shut down a quarterback is Larry Johnson's the best defensive line coach in America, and that defensive line took a quarterback who we have a tremendous respect for, and he didn't set his feet all night, and so that's the way we won that game.
would you describe this team's mindset coming into the matchup and what it means to end this season as Cotton Bowl champions?
Well, the mindset was obvious. We wanted an opportunity to go down as one of the great teams in Ohio State, Big Ten champions. Obviously a top 5 finish. I think we beat 3 teams in the top 10 or 4 teams. And this will go down to one of the best teams I've ever coached and one of the greatest group of young people I've ever been around.
Urban, thank you so much. Congratulations.
All right, Buckeye Nation, that one's for you, baby.
Urban mentioned what a special group of young men this is, and JT, I know you're a big part of that. 4 years here at Ohio State. Tonight you played in your final game in your home state of Texas. What were the emotions of tonight like for you?
I mean, I felt like I had a lot of emotions going into it, but I prayed and asked God that I could stay focused on the game, and with that to go out there and play the best for my brothers. But I mean, if anything, it was just grateful to be at Ohio State and playing this great bowl game.
As the confetti comes down and you are able to leave here as Cotton Bowl champions, what does it mean to you and this group of seniors?
It means a lot to us. Make sure we go out there with a win, finish off right. I think with that we play for each other, and we're going to enjoy this win.
You set yet another Big Ten record with your performance tonight. What does it mean to you to have achieved what you have during your time here at Ohio State?
I'm very grateful for it. It's an honor to, be a part of the great names with the Big Ten and Ohio State. And with that, I just try to play my best each and every week for the Buckeyes. And with that, records came, and so I'm very grateful for it.
JT, thank you so much, and congratulations.
All right, go Bucks.
There is a young man that deserves to wear a hat that says champion on it before his career is officially done. We'll come back and wrap it up in just a moment here at Arlington.
The 2018 Ford Escape Postgame is brought to you by Ford. Going further so you can.
Bob Wischusen here with Brock Ewert, wrapping up the post-game report. The Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic goes to a worthy bunch from Ohio State. That's a heck of a pair right there, Urban Meyer and JT Barrett.
Yeah, those two struggled a little bit in the second half offensively, and maybe they didn't finish the way they wanted to on that side, but they imposed their will from beginning to end. Sam Darnold was sacked 8 times. He was beaten up tonight, and one of the best groups up front in all of college football expressed that this evening. And Billy Price and JT Barrett and those fifth-year seniors that have won so much go out winners.
Yeah, there are takeaways that are luck. There are also takeaways that defense causes. And tonight, that Buckeye defense caused the turnovers that resulted in game-changing, momentum-swinging plays that let them run away with a 24-7 win over USC. For Allison Williams and Brock Ewert, I'm Bob Wischusen. Sports Center with SVP now.